Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, November 11th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the USC Trojans versus the number 6 Oregon Ducks. We are waiting for West Virginia and Oklahoma to wrap up. About 4 minutes to go. Oklahoma up 59-20, and they have this Fox deal. So pretty much every game that's on, Penn State, Michigan, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Oregon, and USC, they have to conclude and finish everything. But hopefully they'll be done here within the next couple minutes, since this game was supposed to start roughly 10 minutes ago. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend so far. Awesome game with the Washington Huskies beating the Utah Utes. They stay undefeated. Oregon, we're trying to do our job now and be that one team that only has one loss in the Pac-12 to match up to Washington, possibly in the Pac-12 championship. But we can't look too far ahead. Obviously, we have to make sure we get the job done here tonight against the USC Trojans. And also, USC, even though they've gone through 3 losses, right? I imagine that the game will be pretty close in the first half, and then the Ducks will pull away in the third quarter, fourth quarter. I would assume, USC will put up a fight, and don't be surprised if USC is ahead after the first or second quarter or going into halftime, kind of similar to the Utah Utes up on the Washington Huskies. But one thing that you want to make sure that you recognize is that the Huskies and the Ducks are 2 of the best in college football to make adjustments in the second half. And I believe that we will make the proper adjustments there, unless we're blowing them out in the first half, which could be something that possibly happens also. And then USC, moving forward, where do they go? Everyone knows we're all going to be going to the Big Ten, but the Washington Huskies have to travel to Corvallis and play Oregon State. And like I was telling y'all, if we get past USC tonight, there is no guarantee that we end the season with just one loss. Oregon State, I believe now, is 8-2. And if they end up upsetting Washington at home or possibly beating Oregon, it could, kind of throw a little fork into everything, on where we're going to go. And I kind of knew from the very start it was going to be Washington, Oregon, Oregon State, and USC, just depending on what defenses stepped up and which ones didn't. But Oregon State is going to be that team that could be, a killer of dreams, not only for the Ducks towards the end of the year, but possibly even Washington next week when they have to travel to Corvallis. So I wouldn't be sleeping on the Beavers at all. They've had a couple losses where they should have won those games. And honestly, it makes for great football as we're going towards, the holiday season, getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving. And then once we get past that, we'll be in that Christmas season. But I couldn't ask for a better finish between the Huskies, the Ducks, and the Beavers. But we got to make sure we get this dub tonight. The Huskies struggled a little bit on defense, but they found a way to get it done. And I'm hoping that the Ducks find a way to get it done here tonight. We've got about 2 minutes left before we get going with the game, and I imagine they're going to throw that up. Matt in the building, what's good? He said, keys to victory. What do we got to do? He said, offense, run the ball with Bucky and Jordan. O-line has to block, keep a good pad level, wide base, active feet, drive from the hips. No sack lunches, yum, 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 yum on offense. And we got Jackson Powers, probably the best center in college football. No penalties on offense and no turnovers. He said, take what USC defense gives you. Be patient in the passing game. Let the offense cook and work together. I agree. What do we got on the defensive side from Matt Payton? He said, get after the QB, quote-unquote Caleb. Pressure Caleb and get them all flustered. Stop the pass and the USC wide receivers, which is easier said than done. Stop Marshawn Lloyd. Create havoc up front and get those sack lunches. Let's go, baby. Both sides with the line of scrimmage up front, both offense and defense. Don't allow USC's offense to get the first dodge and win third down conversions on offense and win the time of possession. Dan, be a better clock manager, and when the field goal opportunity is there, take it. Don't be greedy. Don't try to be a Chip Kelly. Take the points when they're there. Big facts. NFL teams in attendance: the Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Cleveland Browns, Houston Texans, Los Angeles Chargers, Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, New York Jets, Philadelphia Eagles, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Tennessee Titans. Reflect in the building. What's good? Daniel in the building. What's good? Sarah in the building. Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's go. Drew in the building. What's good? We were supposed to kick off at 7:30, but we have a Fox game that's running long, which is something that typically happens. So we have to wait for this Oklahoma West Virginia game to end. Thanks a lot, Pat McAfee. All right. And once it's over here in a few minutes, then they'll cut into the game. Let's go, baby. Kyle's in the building. Go Ducks, go. Let's get it, baby. And, being a fan of the Ducks for, since the 80s. Let's go, baby. I got the gloves ready. But it should have started 15 minutes ago. But again, Fox has their rules. Once a game is in progress, you can't leave. So let's go, baby. I'm ready. And honestly, I'm not even worried about this game. I'm more worried about Oregon State. And I'm not trying to shit on USC. If USC actually had a defense and there was guys down there like Troy Polamalu, would I be a lot more concerned about this matchup? Yeah. Can we lose this game? Yes. But realistically, the way that the Ducks and Huskies have played, all year, we shouldn't really lose that many games or that many quarters for that matter. And we should be able to get this done. It would be a shock if Oregon loses this game to USC at home. The crowd has been drinking since 7 a.m. It's 7:45 p.m. We are going to be lit. We are going to be ready, and we are going to roll. Even if we start off a little slow, again, we'll make the proper adjustments in the third and fourth quarter. The real game that I'm worried about is Oregon State. And I imagine the Huskies have a little concern as well, seeing that the Beavers have been playing much, much better, with Ugalele coming in from Clemson. And if you look at it, the Beavers in the past really weren't getting over 40 points. A lot of times in these games, the Beavers are getting 40, 50, 60 points. Granted, they play Stanford today, and they're dog shit, kind of like Colorado with their defense and USC's defense. But still, you got to give the Beavers credit that, even though that, they're beating up on some of the weak teams, I know the Beavers can beat Washington. I know the Beavers can beat Oregon. It's just a matter of can they execute for 4 quarters, or will our teams impose our will? And I'm hoping that we get a Huskies Ducks Pac-12 rematch, and I hope we end up getting that dub, and then we move on to the playoff. And I'm hoping that the Ducks can go all the way. And if not, then I'll be rooting for the Huskies to, not only go all the way, but for Michael Penix Jr. to win the Heisman, as long as it's not going to affect him mentally moving forward, which I don't think it will. Like, if you ended up giving it to Caleb, I think that would be too much for him. But if you go to, someone else that gets the award, I don't think it'll affect those players as much. And the person that has the most to lose is Caleb Williams, the most to gain, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Drake May, and a few others that are going to be below him possibly in the draft. Let's go, baby. Well, it's because of the Huskies. They made the proper adjustments when they had an opportunity to go for 3. They did, and I think that's kind of like the winning move, especially when the games are touchdown, 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 touchdown. And when the defenses get a little bit tighter and things get a little bit closer, someone has to put the ego aside, and you have to be like, you know what? I know we can get the first down on 4th and 1. I know we can end up getting a touchdown, but what do? You pull it back and you say, let's get 3. Right. And usually the team that does that first in the third quarter usually ends up being the team that wins, and 3 points isn't sexy like offensive linemen. But sometimes you have to realize going for it on 4th down and not getting a touchdown compared to going for a field goal and getting 3, there's a different type of vibe and mentality. And once you go for it and then you don't get points, and then let's say the other team scores, and then all of a sudden you're down by 11, you may not come back in the game. So I like being able to go for field goals at the proper time, go for it on 4th down in the 3rd and 4th quarter if need be, but don't give up points. If points are there, take the points. Trust me, it's going to work out in our favor because, like I said, when the Ducks played the Huskies the first time around, Michael Penix Jr. doesn't throw 3-4 picks in a game. He might have 1, okay? So if you get one right before the first half and you're down by 4, don't be a greedy fuck like Dan Lanning thinking he's Chip Kelly 2.0. Take the 3. We get down by 1, but what did your dumbass do? You ended up going for it. We got no points. We were down by 4, and then we had another opportunity to go for a field goal in the beginning of the third quarter. You decided to go for fourth down. We didn't get it again. That's 6 points left on the board, and we actually ended up losing the game by 3 like I predicted. And if we would have hit those 2 field goals, we would have won by 3. So you don't really necessarily see that ahead of time unless you're very good with mathematics and you know how the game works and the flow of the game. But you have to understand, Utah didn't have Cameron Rising. If Cameron Rising was actually playing throughout the whole year, not their second or third string quarterback, they would be much better. Hell, Utah might be undefeated at this point or only have 1 loss. So Utah did kind of nut up in the second half, but that's not necessarily Utah. That's Washington being the baller team that they are, making the adjustments in the second half, just like Oregon. So don't be surprised if it's halftime and we're down 28-24 possibly to USC, but we're going to make sure we make that proper adjustments in the second half like the Huskies did. And that's kind of how I feel that the game went. It's not necessarily Utah shit the bed. Washington made the right moves, and they gave up a pick 6. Right, the game was already going to be over. Dropped the ball like Deshaun Jackson on the 3. But what did they do? They stopped the bleeding. They didn't bleed out. They got a safety right away, and they ended up fighting back those, tears of obviously disapproval and like, what are we doing? And it didn't hurt them. And a lot of teams, when you end up having a play like that, the other team goes down, scores on a 99-yard drive. That could have been the difference in Uncle Mo and the momentum in the game. But luckily, the Huskies nipped it right in the butt right away. Stop the bleeding, put the Band-Aid on, wrap the tourniquet up, and then they ended up getting the dub, and they got that big safety, and that changed the momentum. Sports is all about momentum, and you have to be able to gain momentum and stop momentum, and I'm very excited about this matchup tonight. We got to win, run the table, go against the Huskies, try to beat them in the Pac-12 championship, but the best man win. If we win, great. If not, Michael Penix Jr., and I'm a Duck fan, okay, and I've been a Duck fan since the 80s. My favorite player in college football is Michael Penix Jr. So for me to say that really says a lot. I'm not biased. I keep it 100. I call it how I see it. And they're very, very good. And also to give Huskies a little bit more credit, they've been playing like the last month without their NFL wide receiver, Jalen McMillan. They've been doing it with Rome and Culp and Polk. So just imagine if Michael Penix Jr. had another NFL receiver like he did at the beginning of the year, maybe the game against Utah isn't as close as it was if they actually have both NFL receivers out there. It's like we got Troy Franklin, but we don't got 2 Troy Franklins out there. We got a Bucky Irving, we got a James, but we ended up losing one of our running backs. So anytime you lose a key piece, you got to have other guys step up, and that's what we saw. Big facts. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Sparky in the building. What's good? 5:45 Hawaii time. What's good? Matt's in Hawaii as well. 10:47 in Maryland. I love it. I feel tough vibes for people like Kyle, because we have a lot of fans. We have people like overseas, and we got a lot of people in New York and in the South and on the East Coast. And obviously having to stay up that late. I mean, right now, it's almost 11 p.m. And obviously they're just putting on the Ducks, and obviously 13 minutes left. Looks like we missed about a minute. But they finally brought it over. Come on, Fox. Running commercials over the goddamn kickoff. Boo! Let's go. Here we go. Yeah, but we didn't deserve it. Kyle, we didn't deserve it. And like I said, I've been a Duck fan so far back where we used to win 1 game a year. Not like all these bandwagon Duck fans when everything got cool with the helmets and the uniforms and getting that Phil Knight money, and they started hopping on the wagon either in the Joey Harrington era or more people hopped on the bandwagon at the Chip Kelly era. You know what I mean? People wearing the gear and they don't even know one goddamn player on the team besides Bo Nix. But I feel that it wasn't Bo Nix's fault. It wasn't the defense's fault. It was the coaching fault. So we need to make sure that the coach gets exposed. So if he's going to try to beat Chip Kelly and it doesn't work, we're going to have to let him know. So I'm actually happy that we lost that way, not Bo Nix throwing 4 picks or the defense shitting the bed. It was all on the coach, and that's usually how it is. Coaching for Oregon is really going to dictate a lot, and I already thought that we were going to lose that game by 3. We played at home the year before. Bo Nix got hurt with like a minute left in the game. We brought in the backup. He didn't do shit. We couldn't even throw the football. We ran it 4 times. Huskies stopped us. I thought we deserved to win it last year, but Bo Nix got hurt. They got the dub. This was in Seattle. I knew we were going to lose this game, and we actually played a little bit better than I thought we were going to play, but I still thought we would lose by 3, and that's what happened. But it hurts more knowing that all we had to do is kick 2 field goals, and we would have won by 3. But Dan Lanning is one of those guys, trying to bring this Georgia swagger from being arguably the best defensive coordinator, and obviously when he first came in, I wasn't really a big fan. I kind of liked Mario Cristobal a little bit more, but until I saw Mario Cristobal at the U trying to go for it on 4th down or 3rd down when all he had to do was kneel it, and then he ended up fumbling the football with a handoff play. The other team got the ball and scored. He's done that twice. Cristobal is ass, all right? So Dan Lanning is starting to, we're still kind of pissed off at him for that Husky loss, but you're starting to see that he's bringing that Georgia defensive mentality here. We were supposed to be bottom 4 in the Pac-12 in defense, and we're top 4. So that's the difference between Oregon finishing 3rd, 4th, 5th in the Pac-12, which I thought we were, right? And now we're right there, 2nd, right behind the Huskies. So, it is what it is. Let's go, baby. I can't believe they ran commercials past that, but your boy is here. Your boy is ready. Caleb, Bo next. Let's go, baby. Oh, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Caleb steps up, floater, going deep. Oh, he shouldn't have hesitated. If he would have went the whole way and ran full speed, that would have been a touchdown. And that's what he's saying right there. Go. Why did you hesitate? It wasn't a stop and go after 30 yards. Look at him right here. So now he's going. And then he hesies right there. And then he pushes off. He doesn't even see the football. If he just would have went full speed, that would have been a Caleb Williams touchdown Trojans. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. You know it, baby. Let's go. I should be there right now in Eugene. I actually got to go see Colorado and Dion, but I really wanted to go to this matchup. But, you got to have the money to be able to do it. Plus, I would have been home at like 2, 3 in the morning. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Look at this trick play that they're trying to run on the Ducks. It ain't going to work. Get out of here with that. Caleb, where you going? Nowhere, baby. 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Let's go, baby. Norlis has played great this year. Elliot in the building. What's good, brother? Double E, thank you for helping out. Appreciate you very much. I mean, there's other things that people can do, if they're not able to donate, like I said, comment, share, support your boy. All right, come on, Oregon. At least we didn't miss a score. I would have been pissed if we already would have missed a score in the first quarter. What a late start. All right. Bo next. Your turn, baby. Let's go. But the Oregon State is really gonna, challenge a lot of people. And like I said, don't be surprised. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but don't be surprised if the Beavers, when they play Washington next week in Corvallis, don't be surprised if they end up winning and they get the upset. Or when Oregon plays Oregon State, if we lose, I think there's a legitimate shot that Oregon State may not be able to win both matchups. I don't think they have the depth to do that yet. And obviously we're not going to play each other really that much anymore since, USC, Washington, Oregon, UCLA are going to the Big Ten. And then you got Oregon State, Washington State with a thumb up their ass. We're waiting where to go, MAC, WAC, ACC, wherever the fuck they land, Big 12. But I definitely think the way that they run the football, with Damian Martinez, he scored 4 tutties today. He's a stud. You got Ugalele, you got good defense. So I think that crowd will be rocking. And, it will be a lot closer than people think. I mean, if they end up beating, fucking Washington and Oregon, then yeah, they deserve to, be the Pac-12 champions if they can end up doing the miracle. But there's no other team that's on our level besides Oregon State, in my opinion. I think Oregon State's better than USC. I think Oregon State's better than everyone else in the Pac-12. I think they're number 3. It goes Washington Huskies 1, Oregon Ducks 2, Oregon State Beavers 3. Prove me wrong. Like I said, and even some of the games that they dropped, they should have won. If they just would have had a little bit better coaching and a little bit more depth on their roster, there's a chance that Oregon State would be at today with only one loss. Even though they only have two, which is pretty damn good for the Beavers. They've been on the up and up in the last couple years, and I am nervous about that matchup. I'm not, like I said, I feel pretty good about the Trojans today, but the Beavers going against Washington next week. If they win, then it's going to open up a lot of eyes. Being, because if they can beat Washington at home, they definitely can beat Oregon. So we'll see where it goes, but definitely it's going to come down to the wire. And when it's the Beavers playing anybody else, I'm going to root for them to do well. Obviously, if they play us, I'm going to want to get the dub, but I don't think enough people are giving credit to the Beavers besides myself. And hell, I'm not even an Oregon State Beaver streamer. I'm a Duck streamer. I'm a college football, NFL streamer. I do pretty much all the sports: basketball, baseball, football, hockey, NASCAR, UFC, boxing, AEW, WWE. But, the Beavers need a little bit of love as well, and they are legit. Big facts. I highly doubt that they'll get blown out, the Oregon State Beavers by the Ducks or the Huskies. I imagine it'll be pretty close. Well, you haven't been watching. If you don't think that Oregon State can win, against Washington or Oregon, they definitely have the talent to do so. They've been much better. This isn't the same Oregon State Beaver team from like 5-10 years ago. Last couple of years, they've really turned it on. And obviously, if you get Clemson's, transfer quarterback in Ugalele, that gave them that spark. Because if they didn't have that quarterback, they probably would be sitting at 6-4, which would still be pretty respectable. But you get a transfer quarterback, just like we did as well, and then you go to an 8-2 team. So, much respect. And I definitely think, like I said, out of the rest of the schedule, I'm more nervous about the Beaver game than this one. So, let's go, baby. Bo, baby. Bo, baby. Look at that spin move. Hit him with the spin cycle, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Ducks. Bang. Let's go. And that's how we do it, baby. If you don't got defense, you don't got a goddamn chance, baby. And that's why the Beavers are better than the Trojans. That's why the Beavers are better than Colorado. That's why the Beavers are better than most of the teams in the Pac-12 besides the Ducks and the Huskies. Let's go. And I said that at the beginning of the year. Woo! Hit him with the spin cycle. Hit that circle button. Whirlpool. Wash them clothes twice. Bye-bye. Touchdown. Oregon. Let's go. That's how we come out with a bang, baby. Let's go. Well, I think she already knows that they're going to lose. So, I mean, if you already lost 3 times and you got beat by the Huskies, there's no way in hell you're winning this game. Sorry. You're not, like I said, not a lot of people want to give Bo Nix like Heisman like credit, and I still think Michael Penix Jr. is a better quarterback, and I'm a Duck fan, right? But Bo, in the right system, he might be able to pan out. He's got a quick release. He would probably have to go to a team like Tampa, somewhere where they actually have receivers there, an offensive line, and a defense. And if you ended up backing up Baker and then taking his job, maybe he could succeed somewhere there. But if you just throw him on any team like Cleveland or so, yeah, he won't succeed. Many quarterbacks would fail in certain situations. But, I'm feeling Michael Penix Jr. to the Vikings or the Bucks would be great. And same thing goes for Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix, the Buccaneers would probably be the most safe and most secure spot for him where he actually probably could succeed. Because obviously with Baker Mayfield, we know that sometimes he looks great. Sometimes he looks terrible. He hangs on to the football a little bit too long and getting to the point where he's probably going to be a backup quarterback sooner than later after this year. And we're going through, one of the best quarterback drafts arguably in 30 years where we may have like 9 guys come out within the first 2 rounds. And out of those 9, how many are going to pan out? Probably 5. And out of the 5, how many are going to be elite? 2. And then we're going to have 3 that are going to be above average or average. So it's just like the Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance. Everyone's like, oh, that was going to be such a great, great quarterback class. One of the best ever. And then now only a couple years have passed. We got 1 good quarterback, 1 that's trying to be a quarterback in Justin Fields, and 3 guys that are dog shit. Trey Lance, we don't know because he's injured. Mac Jones is fucking terrible, and Zach Wilson's terrible too. It shows you a lot can change, within 1 or 2 years, for the perspective of the players. But I definitely think that the quality of players that we have, in this particular draft is much better, even though, we might or, not get Shedeur Sanders. We'll see if I would assume Caleb's going to come out for the draft unless he decides that he wants to go back to school and doesn't want to play for the Cardinals or the Bears. But we'll see how it goes. But I'm definitely excited about Caleb, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Daniels, Quinn Ewers, and then we'll probably have to wait for Shedeur Sanders the following year because they're going to try to – I assume Dion's going to try to put him in position to be like the first or second pick in the draft after all of these quarterbacks go off the board this season. But, we still got a long ways to go before we crown Shedeur Sanders as being a franchise QB that's definitely going to hold it down. So, yeah. But also, too, remember, we can't talk shit because, he inherited a team that usually only wins one game, maybe two. So, yeah, they, are 4-6 or whatever bullshit record that they have, right? Which is much more than they normally get. And obviously, if they didn't have Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh, obviously they would be much worse than that. But at least he brought awareness to college football. And I'm not going to really be a hater towards him. I loved watching him, when he was on the Niners and the Cowboys back in the day, Falcons and Florida State. And at least he brought eyeballs, but it shows you, how many bandwagon people are there. Singers, rappers, athletes. They don't know anything about fucking Colorado or Dion, but they wanted to be able to support Dion. So they bought the gear, they bought the sunglasses, they bought the merch, but they're, starting to realize that, hey, you might have won a few games early like TCU, right? But then you actually kind of fell back to earth when Oregon smacked you in the mouth. But I still hope that Colorado ends up being good in the next few years, and hopefully they end up winning the Big 12 in the next 5 years if they can recruit properly on the other side of the ball. Big facts. Let's go, baby. 7-0 Ducks. Let's get some stack lunches and some picks, baby. Let's go. Incomplete. What a great start for Oregon. Cyberpunk with the share on the Twitter/X. Appreciate that. And hopefully we can end up hitting the goal tonight. I know a lot of people don't like, Coach Prime, and stuff, but I like what he does. You know what I mean? You have to be confident, look good, feel good, play good, have that swagger. You can't come in there like a fucking pussy and be all fucking tentative. You have to go in there like a boss and, realize they don't have a lot of talent, on the defensive side of the ball. So for them to be able to get off to a fast start like they did was pretty shocking. And now they're coming back to reality. But, if Colorado is good in college football overall, that's going to be, overall good for the sport. We want to be able to see more teams with more players. Big facts. And plus, I need to be able to see Travis Hunter keep, excelling. So if he ends up playing wide receiver or corner, and if he makes a decision on which one he plays, and he probably should play corner. 7-0 Ducks, man in motion. Caleb, bootleg, rolling to his right. Steps up in the pocket. Sack his ass. Just barely gets away. Wow, how did he get that pass off? Nice job, Caleb. Let's go, baby. And I already did the Husky game against Utah, so didn't really get that much of a break. Went on for a 45-minute walk with my pup. A little bit rainy, a little bit gloomy out here, but, I'm ready to go. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Bassa. I know quite a few people that are there right now. They're rocking. You got to think when they have late games like this in Autzen, they've been drinking. Some people have been drinking since 6, 7, 8 a.m. They get there early, and then obviously they drink and they party all day. So by the time it's like 7:30, yeah, I mean, I imagine some people are almost ready for night, because they've already been going too hard. Some people might be still in the parking lot. No lie. But a majority of them, they know they got to eat a little bit, soak up that liquor and that beer, and then get ready and, take one last couple before you hop in and then get in the stadium, baby. Let's go. First down and 10, 7-0 Oregon. Let's go, baby. Shotgun set for Caleb. Play action fake. Pressure. Sit down. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Let's go. Yes, sir. And like I said, if our defense wasn't good this year, there's no way in hell that we would be all the way up here at this point with the record that we have. Oregon's never known for being a defensive team, and it's always been my dream as a fan since the 80s that we could have a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. We always can run the ball. We usually have decent quarterbacks, good receivers, running backs, tight ends, offensive line from time to time. We'll have a nice one, but we never really have a defense. We have defensive players like Thibodeau and McKinley, a few guys, but not necessarily a team of defenders. Going deep. Wow, how did he catch that? First down, Trojans. All right, I'll give the Trojans some love. We'll give them their logo because I'm not a hater. We'll give them their little logo while they have the ball. Don't want to be a hater. We want to make sure we're keeping it 100. Caleb, little screen wrap up. There we go. And obviously, when you got explosive pieces like Caleb and Bo and Michael Penix Jr. and Shadur Sanders, Cameron Rising next year when he comes back healthy, anybody could score on anyone. Even though Oregon's defense and Oregon State usually are pretty good, Washington from time to time, like these guys are so talented that big plays are going to happen. Even if Oregon's defense is the best in the Pac-12 or number 2, there's still going to be times where you got to understand Caleb might be the first pick in the draft. But I'm not really sure if he's going to be Patrick Mahomes of the NFC or not. He's got the most pressure out of any quarterback, especially already winning the Heisman last year. It sounds like he won't win it this year, but the expectations are high for not only him, but I think also for being a Heisman winner. So some guys crack under the pressure and they can't handle, that Heisman curse. And I don't know if Caleb is going to pan out in the NFL. His completion percentage when he plays good teams goes down like 20%. When he plays, bullshit teams that are not in the top 25, 70% completion percentage, 85 touchdowns, and like 5 picks. But then he plays a good team in the top 25, a ranked team. Then it's like up to the last game, not including the stats from Washington, it was like 50% completion percentage, and then he's like 8 touchdowns and 8 picks. The NFL's got a lot more talent. So if you can't do it against good teams in college, how the hell are you going to pan out in the NFL? Just your athleticism alone? That ain't going to do it. It's going to help him, like with the athleticism I'm seeing right here. Get him! Wow. What a run by Caleb. First down, Trojans. But if you end up being a running quarterback, look what happened with Anthony Richardson. You can only do that for so long before you take a big hit from a linebacker or a safety, and all of a sudden you got a separated shoulder, a torn pec, a labrum, whatever it may be, an Achilles, and then all of a sudden, Richardson's season is over. So, Caleb needs to learn how to stay in the pocket, run away when he needs to, like right there. That was a beautiful example. But I worry about quarterbacks that like to run first because chances are you're going to end up getting hurt and you might be out for the year. Big facts. All right, let me see the touchdown that we had here. First down and goal, shotgun set. Handoff. Touchdown, Trojans. Marshawn Lloyd, we got to stop that. But like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if we end up being down after the first quarter or if we're even down at halftime, just like the Huskies were against the Utes, but we'll make the proper adjustments. Finley in the building. What's good? Extra point is up and good. Good game so far, just like Utah was, against the Huskies. High snap right there, too. Well, yeah, I watched a little bit of that game, and if, Daniels is going to end up, taking an RPO, and he's going to end up going for like 80 or 90 to the house, that's kind of tough to overcome and come back from. You know what I'm saying? Daniels going mad crazy. 12 carries for 234 yards, and he's 17 for 26 with 372, and the game's not even over yet. So the guy had like 600 yards by himself and 5 touchdowns. So if you can't limit that for the Florida Gators, then you're not going to win that game. So that's insane. That's insane numbers. I don't know what's crazier, 17 for 26 for 372, 3 tutties, or the 12 carries for 234 yards as a quarterback and 2 touchdowns. That's got to be one of the best performances of the year. So if you don't run into Dalen Daniels, you'll be good. That's tough. That's just a tough matchup to go against. All right, we're knotted up at 7, baby. Let's go, Ducks. And I ended up doing the matchup earlier with the Utes and the Huskies. Ended up being a fantastic game, and then here we are. Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. And being a fan since the '80s, we've gone through a lot. It's not like Oregon's always been good. There was a time when I was a kid where we would win one game a year, two games a year. And then he started getting a little bit better. From Rich Brooks to Mike Bellotti. Then we started to believe, and then you had obviously the Penny Wheaton pick six against Washington in '94. Got to the Rose Bowl, we lost, but at least that was the starting point. But really, what got us on the map with Mike Bellotti is Joey Harrington. Obviously the comeback kid. The comeback captain, and Captain Comeback. And, with Joey, that kind of started it all. And then once we had Joey, from then got Chip Kelly, and then we really got popular in that mode, Rose, Natty, Rose, Fiesta. And I don't know if we're ever going to be that good ever again, but it feels good to be up there with the Huskies. And we take care of business tonight. We take care of business these next few weeks, take care of Oregon State in the Civil War, hopefully. And then we'll play the Huskies in the Pac-12 championship. Hopefully we get the dub. If not, best man wins. And then if we lose, I'll be rooting for the Huskies to go all the way. Michael Penix Jr. to get the Heisman and to win the Natty and go all the way. Like, I'm hoping that someone can win it from the Pac-12. Florida State is fugazi. They don't belong, right? But Ohio State and Michigan, normally Oregon and Washington can't hang with those two teams. But this year, with the quarterbacks and defenses that we have, I think we can. And then obviously Georgia is Georgia. They're not as good as they were in the previous two natties that they've won, but Georgia is still the Georgia Bulldogs. So, chances are they'll probably end up winning their playoff game, whoever they play. So we'll see how it goes. But the only team that seems a little fugazi and fake to me is Florida State. If I'm looking at the teams, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Washington, Oregon, those are legit. And then Florida State is really the only fugazi team that doesn't belong. Now, are they still a good team? Yes. But I honestly think if you took any of those other five teams, they would beat the brakes off of Florida State. So just my personal opinion. I think Oregon would beat them. I think Washington would beat them. And I know Ohio State, Michigan, and Georgia could easily. Big facts. Let them know. Make sure you're on that with Elliot as well as Sarah. And then hopefully we can get some people to show some love. 600 plus total yards and 5 tutties. Kind of good. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Knotted up at 7. Good first quarter. Let's go, Bo. All you have to do is Bo leave. Trips right. Bo knows. Shotgun set. Bo. Shit, Bucky, you're going the wrong way. Good defense by the Trojans. Good defense by the Trojans. Might be the one play they actually make today. Last time I actually saw Oregon and USC was about 10 years ago, and it was when both teams were like 9-1 or 10-1. Whoever was going to win the Pac-10, and it was ABC 5:00 national broadcast. And I remember me and my dad were at the 5th row on the 20-yard line behind the Oregon bench, and literally no one's sat down the whole game. It was amazing. Ended up losing that game by 3 with a missed field goal right there at the end, but being able to see LaMichael and D'Anthony in their prime, there's nothing like it. Big facts. Sarah with a 5-er. Appreciate you. $5 holla. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $5 holla. Let me know what you want. I got you. Go, Troy. The 40, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Go. Let's fucking go. Yes, sir. The way that he's playing with him and Roma Dunzier from Washington, they might go both in the first round. They might end up going to a team like the Chiefs. They need wide receivers, and Rome and Troy are fantastic. Let's go. So obviously we know right here trying to go for a 2-point conversion, no good. The same shit applies. Dan Lanning is a moron. And until we get a better coach that actually just takes the points instead of trying to be this like wannabe Chip Kelly, I am never going to approve of this guy. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know we have an explosive offense and our defense is good, but if you're going to continue to be careless after that Washington loss, that lets me know that you haven't learned your lesson. You're still a fucking idiot. You're still a fucking moron. Duck fans don't like you. Okay? And like I said, everything is going well with the record until we end up playing someone like a Huskies, and if you end up fucking up again, you're not going to get the support from any Duck fans, especially when it's not Bo Nix's fault. It's not the defense's fault. It's you, the coach, the play caller. Why the fuck are we going for two right there? Just take the points. That's it, and like I said, even when Chip Kelly did it, it pissed me off. You know what I mean? I get it, but again, you have to have the personnel. And last time I checked, we don't have LaMichael James or DeAnthony Thomas. So, another idiot doing another idiot play. I mean, what can you do? There's no point for going for two, or going for it on fourth down until it's like the third or fourth quarter. There's no point. Just play defense, trust your defense, play the field position game, punt the football. Don't get greedy. The game isn't going to be over if you just go for two or you go for that, fourth down, and then all of a sudden you think by getting the touchdown instead of the field goal that the game's over. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know what this Georgia Bulldog bullshit that he learned from Kirby Smart, but he's a fucking idiot. Not happy about it. You want some Rome? All right, I got you. And make sure, with Sarah and Elliot, let's make sure we're getting all of the due diligence, with the people in the room. Make sure we're getting the likes. And make sure we're getting everything going with the socials. We ended up hitting over 1,800 people on Utah and Washington. So we hit you with a Michael Penix Jr. as well. Explosive Ducks, baby. Got to get a rematch in the Pac-12 championship. We need to. I need this. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Fucking A to Oregon. And like I said, it's like I feel sometimes Oregon will have this like explosive offense and explosive defense, and then all of a sudden we turn into the fucking Cowboys or the Raiders with these mental errors, and we do this dumbass shit. Ball starts, fucking going for two, going for it on fourth down. Just like, can't we just trust the process and understand that if we're this good, there's no point on trying to like rub it in and try to get like an extra point. Like, is it really going to make that much of a difference if we go up 15-7? It's dumb, man. Take the points. I mean, obviously 15-7 is a little bit more intimidating than 14-7, but I mean, just be patient. That's not going to be the only two touchdowns we score all game. Golly. First down and 10. Little flip. Wide open. Go. Go. First down, Trojans. Yeah, I did the game as well. It was good. Like I said, I sometimes if I have to double dip or do 3 games, it gets tough. But I mean, I do everything: baseball, basketball, football, NASCAR, AEW, WWE. I mean, It's just a matter of if you read and you watch film and you know what you're talking about or you don't, and a lot of people cut corners. They, think they can do the streaming, but it takes a lot of work. It's not easy. Nice tackle by Jacobs. Let's go, baby. Versus ranked teams, 2-6. Not good, Lincoln Riley. Versus unranked teams, 16-0. Numbers for Caleb against ranked teams isn't very good either. That's what makes me a little concerned. If your completion percentage goes from 70 to 50 when you play good teams, what the hell is going to happen when he goes to the NFL? That makes me a little concerned, for him and other guys like Michael Penix Jr. and Drake May. And I'm not saying Bo Nix is a better player than Caleb Williams, based off Caleb Williams' athleticism. But if Bo Nix is better with the football and protects the football and his completion percentage is like 10 or 15 points higher, Bo might end up being, a guy that's, can catch up to, what you're getting from Caleb. Caleb's got the athleticism, but if you're an athletic quarterback, but you can't throw, you can just run, but you can't really complete passes, then you're going to be a Cam Newton. And Cam obviously is borderline Hall of Fame, but I mean, to say that Cam was a pure thrower, he wasn't. He was more of a runner first, and he kind of like, I don't know, launched the football to areas. He didn't really throw the football. He was like a linebacker playing fucking quarterback. He was really good running over guys and whatnot, but some games he looked really good throwing the football, but others not so much. He was kind of just like an athlete that played quarterback. What are we on the like, Sarah? We got to get those up, especially when we have people in the room. We got to take advantage of every opportunity that we have. You know how things have been. So we need to make sure that we're grinding on every stream where we're actually getting, the numbers. Good defense there by the Ducks. Especially with the algorithm. The likes are a big part of it, too. Oh, that's unacceptable. 12? Fourth down and 14. Fair catch. David in the building. What's good? 13-7 Oregon. Personal foul. Let's go, baby. Yeah, you can't hit a player after the fair catch already goes up. 39 trying to beat Troy Polamalu. Get out of here with that. Here we go. Right up the gut. Let's go, baby. 13-7 Oregon. Hand off to Bucky. Use those legs, baby. About a yard short of the first down marker. Second down and 1. Bucky Irving going towards the sideline. Big explosive touchdowns. 2 for 2 with 2 tutties for Bo Nix. Is that good? I would say so. Shotgun set. Nix, play action fake. Steps up in the pocket. First incomplete pass of the day. Pass incomplete on 3rd down and 1. Just run the football. Run the football already. Shotgun set. Good defense by the Trojans. Punt the football. I imagine they're going to think about it. They're going to let the clock run down to the end of the first quarter. 13-7 Oregon. Punt the damn football. I mean, obviously they're going to try to bait them to go offside to get the automatic first down, but there's no point of trying to go for it when you're on the 50. Not even at the 50. You're at the 46. But, knowing Dan Lanning, anything is possible. Punt the goddamn ball. End of the first quarter, 13-7 Oregon. Let me know what you want to do for any photos while we're during commercial break or for the people that donated, and then I'll be able to throw those up for you. Anything else that you guys need to see or want to see, just let me know. I got you. Troy Franklin becomes the 12th Duck ever to surpass 1,000 receiving yards in a season. Nice. I'll throw up a Troy Franklin. I don't know why some of those Troy Franklins wouldn't come up. 5 or 6 of them. Thirteen 7 Oregon. Let's go. Show out, Troy. It's been a minute since we've had a wide receiver this good. Damn, Kraken getting their ass kicked. 4-0 at home? Jesus Christ. They're getting fucking obliterated. Caleb 5 for 8, 62 yards, 31 rushing yards. Bo Nix 2 for 3, 161 yards, 2 tutties. Average yards per play 20.6, and Dan Lanning is an idiot. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I mean, we do got one of the best offensive lines, and we got, Jackson Powers, who arguably is the best center in college football. But again, when you have an idiot at a head coach, what can you do? I mean, he's going to cost us a chance to, win the Pac-12 championship. He's going to cost us a chance to make the playoff, and another stupid play call. And then they got him on offsides. Definitely caught a break there. Dumbass play call. What do they think that, like, the Oregon Ducks are? The Philadelphia Eagles? Like, we're not running the tush push. And even the running back didn't even push him from behind until like 2 seconds after the hike. We got lucky there. First down, Ducks. Neutral zone infraction. Hopefully we can get some goats to come through and show love. Shotgun set. Nix. Going long, going deep, got a man, and he falls down. Incomplete. Like, how do you fall down right there? Jesus Christ. Come on, Troy. Handoff. There we go. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. Nice job, Bucky. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, Bo. Execute, baby. Screen pass. Blockers downfield. Hit him with the skirt. And they got blasted backwards. Good defense by the Trojans. Second down and 5. Shotgun set. Nix. There we go, Bucky. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. There we go. One of the top 5 running backs in college football this year, Bucky Irving. Wish we had all 3 of our running backs healthy, but, it is what it is. But James has been a good complimentary RB2 after having the injury. Handoff. Irving. Gain of a couple. Yeah, they're chirping. Second down and 6. 4 wide. Shotgun set. Nix. There we go. Fight for the yards. Come on, Ferg. We need you. Third down and 3. Come on, Ducks. Puddles is ready. He's ready for some push-ups. Nix, handoff. Someone block for him, goddammit. Let's go. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. Here we go. We're about to score. How is that happening? 7-1. That's like a Kraken losing 4-0 at home. First and goal. Let's go, Bo. We got to keep these wins moving so we can play the Huskies in the Pac-12 championship game. Ball start on Oregon. For real. And Jackson Powers, he ain't going to make too many, mistakes. Like, again, he's regarded as probably the best center in college football. So whoever gets him in the NFL will be happy. Uh-oh, trick play. And obliterated. That would have been an incomplete pass anyway, since it was forward. Like, why are we running a trick play like that? Can't we just be like a normal team, where we just run the football normal and we don't have to do these like trick plays all the time? Like, I get it. We got the uniforms and we got the money and we got the cleats and we got the swag, but can't we just get to a point where we just, do methodical football, run the ball, pass the ball? We don't have to do these plays. And like I said, Will Stein, this guy's a fucking idiot. Dan Lanning's a fucking idiot too. Fire both of these motherfuckers, dude. Golly. Bullshit. Bring Chip Kelly back. I would rather have that than this. Chris in the building. What's good, brother? I mean, we know we got the swag and we got, the players and whatnot, and there's a vibe with, Oregon and the fan base and who we are. But like, it's like you got to know your role, right? And you got to be able to execute certain plays at a certain time. I feel it's like Dan Lanning and company and Stein, they have no concept of timing. They're just like trick play whenever, trick play on first down, trick play on third down. Like, let's just go for it. Like, can we just like get the points first, and then if we want to be able to do some trickery, maybe after we're up, like 17, and then you want to be able to do like the nail in the coffin, but not when the game is only 6 points. I mean, gosh. And also, you have to have the personnel to execute those. You don't have D'Anthony. You don't have Michael. Yes, we have Bucky Irving and Bo and Troy Franklin, and those guys are great. But, sometimes it's more than that. Take your time, pound the rock. It doesn't always have to be sexy. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to be like a Sports Center top 10 play, like a fucking, 5 laterals to get into the end zone. Like, if you're good enough, you don't have to be cute like that. Just play football. Here we go. Berg, baby. Nice touchdown. Second down and goal. Nix. Touchdown, Oregon. And just when you ask for them to play normal, conservative, good Oregon Duck football, bang, there it is. Touchdown, Bo Nix to Fergie. Let's go. And at this point, I wouldn't even do it. Just take the point. Like, oh, why are we chasing points? And that's what happens when you go for 2 and you miss it. Then you're chasing, and you're chasing. But at this point, just take the one. So it's like you had 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. You can definitely tell the teams that have someone on the staff that knows mathematics and others that are fucking complete idiots. You know what I mean? Like, you can still have 20. It may not be sexy like 21 for 3 touchdowns, but 20-7 is still fine. All right. Take the goddamn extra point. Motherfucker is an idiot, dude, and that's why a lot of us Duck fans, we don't approve. Like, I get it. We're happy that the defense played good this year. You know what I mean? But you are the single reason why we lost against the Huskies. And we don't like it when like I said, you can ask a lot of Duck fans, but for a lot of us that have been watching since the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, this shit is unacceptable. If we have Chip Kelly, that's one thing. You are not Chip Kelly. Stupid. I mean, and once Dan Lanning proves to us that he can go to a Rose Bowl, a Natty, a Rose Bowl, and a Fiesta, fine. Then if you want to go for 2 on every fucking drive, go ahead. But until that day comes, why are you doing this? It's like, I get it. You're so confident in the team and you want to show like you believe in the players, but if it ends up costing us a game like it did against the Huskies, we don't forget about this shit. Like, the wins are great, but we're not going to remember the wins. We're going to remember that one fucking loss where you decided to go for it on 4th down twice instead of kicking field goals, especially after the Michael Penix Jr. pick right before halftime, you fucking idiot. I never will support Dan Lanning ever. I never will. Never, 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 never. I'll go to the games, but you're never going to hear me ask for a picture or an autograph. You might get a middle finger from me, and that's it. So now you're chasing points, and then if we would have gotten them, we would have been at what, 23? You know what I mean? And obviously 23-7, that's tough. Obviously, looking at that number, you're like, oh fuck, we lost probably. But and when you're at 19 and you already missed it, normal coaches that have a brain that already went for it once for a 2-point conversion and failed, they were like, okay, let's just take the point, and then if we're going to do it again, we'll do it later in the game. Not this motherfucker. This motherfucker's like, 2. Let's go for 2. Let's go for 2. And then now we have 4 points that we just left on the table where we could have just had 1 and 1. Idiot. And I know it's not going to hurt us because we're going to beat the Trojans. But if we play like this against the Huskies or the Beavers, we can lose. I'm not going to say we will lose, you know what I mean? But there's a high probability, that we could lose to Oregon State if we play this way, and also, if we play the Huskies in the Pac-12 championship and we have the same kind of mentality, going for 2, and then not getting it, and then going for 2, not getting it, like, what the hell is the goddamn point? Like, do you really not believe in your kicker? Is that what it is? There has to be an underlining, something there, and obviously we know with our kicker, he does have issues, beyond 45 yards. But I mean, if it's little chip shots, just let him have it. It's like you're not giving him confidence, and there's going to be times where we might need a field goal to win, like against the Huskies or Beavers. So for you not to give him chances to get extra points in and field goals, you're hurting the team. Bo Nix doesn't need any more fucking congratulations. We already know he's good. He doesn't need the extra 2 points and 2 points. The kicker needs work. Idiot. Let's go, baby. 19-7. Berg, baby. Let's go. Let's get those likes up. How many more? 3 more likes to 20. We got to try to get to 40. And then hopefully we can get to that 40 number, then we can get to 50. And then we can see if we can get the dono goal too. Hit his ass. Yeah. Let's go. You already know what it is. Let's go, baby. Thank you. Hope that was worth it. 19-7 Ducks. Good defense. Let's go, baby. Crowd is rocking. Shotgun set for Caleb. Pump fake. First down, Trojans. Move the chains. First down and 10. Trojans need a touchdown desperately here. They need to get to at least 14 to have any type of confidence before halftime. Autzen is a tough place to play. Floater? Why are we grabbing the receiver there? Idiot. Well, USC doesn't have a defense. We already know we won this game. The real challenge will be Oregon State and then the Huskies in the Pac-12 championship game. That's what we're looking at. But you don't want to overlook any opponent, especially if you have an idiot as a coach like Dan Lanning. But it would be very ironic if the Ducks ended up winning the Natty. Like the one year that we don't even think as Duck fans that we can actually win the Natty, and then we actually win the Natty. I already knew we weren't going to win it with Mariota, and the only Natty that we should have won was against Auburn and Cam Newton in 2010. That was the one that we should have won when we had like Jeff Mayo at wide receiver. That was our year with Darren Thomas. Rose Bowl Natty, Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, and when we had LaMichael and when we had D'Anthony, but when a player rolls on another player's back and you get an additional like 10 or 15 yards, and that was it. But you never know. Get his ass. There we go. Why I worry about Caleb, going into the NFL draft. You play shitty teams, 70% completion percentage, like 85 touchdowns, 5 picks. You play teams in the top 25, your completion percentage goes down to 50, 20 points below, which is not good. And then you go prior to the game last week against the Huskies, you were like 8 touchdowns and 8 picks. That's not good to go from 85-5 to 8-8 when you start playing good teams. I mean, what's going to happen to him when he goes to the NFL? I worry about him. Like I said, out of all the quarterbacks, he's the one that has the biggest chance to fail, in my opinion. Like with all that pressure, winning the Heisman and all the pressure that he puts on himself, like if he ends up being the first pick in the draft and he goes to the Bears or the Cardinals, I don't know if he'll pan out in the NFL. Like I still think he could be like average, like good, he could be a starter, but not like Patrick Mahomes. Because I think that everyone's labeling like the NFC Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes one bit. There's a chance that someone else might be better, like Drake May or Michael Penix Jr. Nice pass. But if he has good coach and good supporting cast, good line, good receivers, good defense, then yeah, I could see him panning out. But if you go to a dog shit team, that doesn't have good coaching, doesn't have a line, doesn't have a defense, I mean, there's a chance that he might have to wait for his second team or pray that that original team that drafts him builds the team the right way, and eventually he has enough talent around him to succeed. But I worry about Caleb. Yeah, I mean, we're still up 19-7, but we should have just took the points and be up 21-7. Just take the extra points. He hasn't learned a goddamn thing. Like I knew he didn't, after going for the field goals, or not going for the field goals and going for it on fourth down and trying to get the touchdown. He hasn't learned one goddamn thing. And I guarantee if we play the Huskies in the Pac-12 championship, he's still going to be the same way. He's going to be overly aggressive and going for two, and then going for fourth downs when we don't need it. That's just annoying. And we already lost once that way, and we're going to probably lose again. So go Ducks. Second down and 11. Hit him. Nice. First down, Trojans. Move the chains. We'll make sure we give them some love. Got a couple more subs, 845 to 21,000. Get his ass. Oh, yeah, baby. Ball's out. He coughed it up. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Let's go. I'm not sure, man. Drake May, Michael Penix Jr. Like, to say like Bo Nix will be a better NFL player than Caleb Williams kind of sounds ridiculous. Even as Duck fans see, how Bo plays in college. But again, you can be great in college and not very good in the NFL. Look at even Marcus Mariota and LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas. I knew that some of those guys weren't going to pan out. I figured Mariota would be a little bit better than he was, but I knew LaMichael and DeAnthony were undersized, and it would take a lot for them to play in the league for more than 6 years. So it's there's different levels to the game. You can dominate college, but when you go to the NFL, it's a man's game. It's different. You got to be built like a Kayvon Thibodeau or a Haloti Ngata. If you're built like that, or Justin Herbert, then you're going to pan out. But if you're undersized, or if you have any kind of question marks, chances are you're not going to pan out. So, no, Oregon did not recover. 3rd down and 21. Shotgun set. Williams, floater, flag on the play. Incomplete. Let's see what happens here with the play call. Offsides on Oregon. Fuck. Come on, Ducks. All right, baby, let's go. Penalty yards, 5 for 55. Unacceptable for Oregon. Get his ass. Floater. Incomplete. I don't think every single quarterback that gets drafted will be better than Caleb Williams, but if I had to put money on it, I would probably say there'll be at least 2 players that are better than him in the draft. What 2 are those going to be? I'm not too sure. Maybe Drake May and Michael Penix Jr., but I don't really like what I see out of Caleb, playing against better competition. It's like you have to be able to have some good games, and you're going to have some games where you struggle, but it can't be so lopsided. Nice punt there by the Trojans. Wow, what a punt. Well, we should. I mean, if we got 30, 40, 50 people in the room throughout, I mean, we hit 1,800 plus on the first stream. So, I mean, that's a bare minimum. Nice job, Ducks. Oh, well, hopefully we can, get a. I would say I hope that we can end up, getting some field goals or some extra points and whatnot, but they don't have any confidence in the kicker. So, and obviously we know the kicker has missed, a few kicks, but you got to make sure you still give him some confidence. You know, Camden Lewis barely gets any opportunities to show what he can do, and if you just keep going for it on 4th down and you don't really give him a chance to do anything, it's going to come back to bite us either with the Beaver game against Oregon State at the end of the year or the Pac-12 championship game against the Washington Huskies. So, like, we played like shit so far, and we're up 19-7. So I guess we can take that. All right, take a look at some of the scores. North Carolina beat Duke. Duke's not even not ranked though. They should have been able to take care of that. All right, let's go over some of the scores. Michigan 24, Penn State 15, no surprise there. Bama 49, Kentucky 21. Texas Tech with the upset, 16-13 over 16th ranked Kansas. Tulane 24, Tulsa 22. Arizona beat Colorado 34-31. Colorado drops down to 4-6. Sorry, prime time. Kansas State 59, Baylor 25, Florida State 27, Miami, the U 20. Florida State is overrated. Fugazi. Washington 35, Utah 28 in the stream that I did earlier today. Nice win for the Huskies. They are the real deal. Michael Penix Jr. is the truth. Missouri 36, Tennessee 7, UCF 45, Oklahoma State 3. How are you ranked 15th in the nation and you put up 3 and you lose by 42 to UCF? Jesus Christ. Iowa 22, Rutgers 0, Oregon State 62, Stanford 17. Oregon State's ranked 12th. I love it. Georgia 52, Ole Miss 17, Oklahoma 59, West Virginia 20. Sorry, Pat McAfee. Ohio State 38, Michigan State 3, Texas 29, TCU 26, another team that's Fugazi in Texas. LSU 52, Florida 35, and then North Carolina just won 47-45 in double OT. And let's look at the Drake May stat line. 28 for 43, 342 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. Drake May's numbers have not been good this year in college football. There's been a lot of games of 1 touchdown, 1 pick, or 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. He needs to be better. Ball's on the ground. Coughed it up. And I know you don't got some of your NFL players there with you, like Josh Downs, but I mean, you got to play better, Drake May. Snap was low and bounced off Bo Nix's knee as well as the other running back. Thank God he saw it. That could have been bad. That could have been an easy touchdown. Yeah, Oregon can still play. It used to be the winner of the North versus the winner of the South. So then it would have been some garbage USC or Utah. But now that's whoever has the best 2 records. So it'll be Oregon and Washington at the end of the day. Unless Oregon State ends up beating, Washington at home in Corvallis, and they also play Oregon at the end of the year. So there still is an opportunity, but there's only 3 teams that can get in. Oregon, Oregon State, or Washington. It's just what 2 teams out of 3 are going to be in. Most likely Oregon and Washington, but I'll give much love to the Beavers and Oregon State. They're legit. $95 to go. Shotgun set, 3rd down and 8. Dive for that first down. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Sloppy first half, going for 2 twice and not converting. But again, we are a powerhouse. And it's crazy to even see like the national guys like Urban Meyer thinks the Ducks are the best team in college football. And normally I don't really give a shit what Urban Meyer or any of these guys say, but it's the first time that I've ever heard anybody in the national media actually give the Ducks love like that. That he actually, believes that we're well balanced on offense and defense, which we are, and that we actually have a chance to, maybe overachieve if we can get past Oregon State and Washington and possibly get to the playoff and surprise some people and possibly get to the Natty and win it all. I mean, Bo Nix is playing better at the quarterback position than Caleb Williams, but again, everyone wants to be on the Caleb Williams bandwagon, but hasn't really played very good. Ever since the tough competition games started kicking in. Oh, baby. Franklin with the hezzy and the hezzy again. Stiff arm, hezzy. First down, Ducks. Let's go, baby. What happens when you expose a defense that doesn't exist? Should have cut back inside there. Shotgun set. Nix. Incomplete. Right when he caught it right there, you should have stopped and cut it inside. Actually went for a stiff arm even before the corner was trying to catch up to him. Second down and 10. Shotgun set. Hand off. Come on, Bucky. Short game. Confused dog. Well, you don't have a very good defense anyway, so regardless if you're confused or not confused, you're not stopping Oregon. Nice try. No, we weren't going to win with Mariota. We had 0% chance in that one, but against Cam Newton and Auburn, that was the one that we should have won. There we go. When Mariota and we ended up playing Ohio State, they were much better than us, but I felt that our team was just on par with Auburn. I think that that was really the only one that we deserved to win. That was ours. But it'd just be wild if we, could actually win a natty. I want to make sure I get at least one before I die. So 10-yard penalty for holding here. Come on, Connerly. And the crazy thing is with this Duck team, it's not like we have a Kayvon Thibodeau. It's not like we have a McKinley at safety on the back end. It's not like we, have a Christian Gonzalez at corner. It's like we don't have a lot of NFL players per se that are, highly, like notarized and recruited and people that know the names of some of our guys. A lot of the names on the defense are kind of no-name guys that people are starting to recognize them as the year is going along, but there is no Kayvon Thibodeau on the defense. That's why it makes it kind of amazing that we're playing this well with really a lot of no names, besides like Bo Nix and Jackson Powers at center, and then Troy Franklin and Bucky Irving. So wish we had Whittington still. That would have been nice, but James has done a pretty good job for the backup role. Fourth down and a flag. Well, they don't believe in the kicker, so Camden Lewis. But they will. Field goes up, and it's good. 22-7. Finally. Give the kid a little bit of love. Nice job, Camden. Let's see if I can find a photo of him. When I actually got tickets to go to the Ducks game versus Colorado, that's where I actually got them from, is from Mo Gumbo through Camden Lewis's dad. He ain't Jason Siegel, let me tell you. We haven't had really an amazing kicker in a minute, but $33 yada. Kick is up, laces out, and it's good. They'll be like in that Husky game when they had laces in and they ended up missing that field goal. There we go, baby. 22-7 Oregon. Go Ducks. This guy's a first or second round pick, and Troy Franklin, I see you. And it's kind of going the way that I thought. I figured USC would have a little bit more point-wise. I figured they would have at least 13 or 14, but give the Duck defense some credit there. Oh, well, he finally did one thing correct. He went for two, didn't get it. He went for two, didn't get it. Dan Lanning, idiot, and then decided to go for three. Now, if he would have ended up going for it there, I mean, everyone would have lost their fucking minds, including myself. But, it is what it is. $20,155, so 45 subs to get to 20,200. Their offense is pretty good. They just don't have a defense. Oh, no, I'm not buying a ridiculous price ring from Kay Jewelers. Not happening. Herrera's homemade marinara. Any other games in college football going on right now? Trying to take a look and see. This might be the last one. I assume there's nothing else on besides this one. Anything else going on right now? UFC 295 is on. I'm also scared to see what the Kraken are at. Still 4-0 down to the Oilers. God damn, they suck. Flyers up 3-1 on the Kings. Anything on the NBA side? All the games have finished. Magic beat the Bucks 112-97. Celtics beat the Raptors 117-94. Heat beat the Hawks 117-109, and then the Cavs beat the Warriors 118-110. A lot of upsets today. How the hell did the Bucks lose as well as the Warriors? That's wild. (22-7) Oregon, baby. All right, 2 minutes to go. You really, I mean, I don't necessarily want the game to be over, but it'd be really sweet to like get a pick six here right before halftime. But then obviously they would just be completely demoralized at that point, and Caleb would start crying, and then who knows what would happen in the second half. But a nice pick six at some point in the game would be nice. Great games tomorrow, Niners and Jags. Don't be surprised if the Jags get that upset, even though they should be favored on the Vegas line, but they're not because they're a small market team. But we'll see if the Niners can rebound. It's really going to depend if Debo and Trent Williams are back and if Brock Purdy can be efficient. 15 straight wins and then 3 straight losses. Great NFL slate tomorrow. Look at this trickery. Zachariah Branch got the speed towards the sideline, but we got you. Hopefully we can hold them to a field goal or less here. Then we'll have to decide if we want to do the Raiders and Jets. One reason I would consider doing it is just Devontae Adams and Sauce Gardner. But, we already know that they're not going to be able to score points on the Jets offense, but their defense will be well, and they'll do good. And then Max Crosby will make a few plays, and the Raiders offense should be able to get enough to win that game. But I got a lot of reaction videos to do tomorrow. Pass incomplete. Hopefully they don't block they blocked 2 of mine last week, so that doesn't happen. I think I've only had like 5 blocked all year. And sometimes if the game is good, that they'll decide to do that randomly for certain streamers that do reaction videos to some of the NFL highlights. But I'm going to try to pump out as many as I can starting at 1:30. And then we'll either do 3 reaction videos or 4, and then Sunday Night Football, or I'll skip Sunday Night Football and just do like 7 or 8 reaction videos as long as I'm not too gassed and tired. So we also will see what we get here at the end of this stream based off views and likes and donos, and that might determine if I do Raiders and Jets Sunday Night Football with the reaction videos or just the reaction videos. Nice catch. First down, Trojans. Move the chains. Awesome, baby. First down and 10, less than a minute to go in the second quarter. Complete, utter domination on Caleb Williams. Floater. He's got a man. Go. The 20, the 10, out of bounds. Well, the Trojans are going to score before halftime. Nice play by Caleb. There we go. First down, Trojans. Move the chains. They needed that desperately. Stays in the pocket. Good spiral. Bad coverage by the Ducks. Hit him with the shimmy and the shake. And luckily we got him out of bounds, but they're too close. Touchdown, Trojans. Especially when they have a big play, you can almost bank it and guarantee that the next play they run, they're getting in, and that's what happened. Shotgun set. Caleb. Handoff. Short game. One more play, and they'll get in the end zone. Hopefully Oregon can respond with a field goal before half. But knowing Oregon, they might just kneel it and just say, fuck it, let's just go into halftime. Second and goal as the clock is running. And then I actually can concede the touchdown here. Bleed this clock all the way down. It'd be hilarious if they bleed the clock all the way down and they don't get in, but obviously they scored. Caleb Williams with the keeper. Touchdown, Trojans. All right, Caleb. Extra point is up, and it's good. 22-14 for as good as we played in the first half to let them back in the game like that. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. You know, we could be up right now 24-14 and everything's fine. But when you're only up 22-14 instead of 24-14, you know, it's like you can get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. The game's tied. Dan Lanning failed mathematics. Now we only have 12 seconds left, so we're going to go into overtime or, halftime. Stupid 2-point conversions. Well, at least the game is close now. You know, I don't really necessarily want a blowout, but it shows you, you know, Dan Lanning just with a couple subtle mistakes, you know, thinking that it's not a big deal, you know, to be able to go for 2-point conversions. And just like that, they finally, you know, get a few plays to go their way, 2 plays to be exact. And then, you know, we're only up by 8. This goes in one ear, out the other, Sarah. That's just how it goes. Some people love, some people appreciate, most don't. I'm going to get my drink. Eight for 12, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks for Bo Nix. Is that good? All right. Getting close to halftime now. Don't fumble it. Colorado versus Washington State on Friday. Depending on what they got going on Friday, I may do that game. especially if there's not a whole lot going on. If it's just like NBA and NHL and there's nothing really that good matchup wise, we'll probably do that game. Washington State should win that. 95 to go. All right, halftime. Yeah, we will. We're very good at making adjustments in the second half. So, I'm going to go visit my pup here real quick. Everyone, go get some food, hit the bathroom, do what you need to do. And like I said, give me a couple minutes and I'll go check up on my pup, get situated, and then we'll be back here for the second half in just a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. All right, let's look at some of the highlights. 22-14 should be up a little bit more than this, but Utah and Washington was a fantastic stream earlier today. Michael Penix Jr. is the truth. I like Michael Penix Jr. More than Caleb. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. It all depends on what team you go to, and if you have good coaching, and if you have a good offensive line and a good defense, and don't be like this Husky right here, pick six, and you drop the ball at the 2. What are you doing? What are you doing? Not even close of being in the end zone. Deshaun Jackson all over again. But luckily, they got a safety like 2 plays later, so it didn't hurt them. Big win for the Huskies. Second time that they've been 10-0. The other time, they ended up winning a co-natty with the U in 1991. How old was I? 9 years old back then? It's been a minute. Any photos or anything that you guys want to see along the way, let me know, and I got you. And then hopefully we can get some more goats to come through and show love. And then tomorrow we got a lot of good games on the NFL slate. As you can see, Niners, Jags, Browns, Ravens, Saints, Vikings. Giants, Cowboys will be terrible, but other than that, most of the other games look pretty fucking good. Colts, Patriots is on hella early in Frankfurt. I don't know how many people are going to wake up for that unless you're a Colt fan like Sarah. Texans and Bengals should be good. Packers, Steelers. Don't really give a shit about that matchup. Titans, Bucks, eh. And then Browns, Ravens should be good. Niners, Jags should be good. Saints, Vikings should be good. Falcons, Cardinals should be interesting with Kyler making his debut with James the Teminade Akana, right? Lions, Chargers should be good. Giants, Cowboys will be the worst game of the weekend. Commanders, Seahawks should be good. Jets, Raiders, eh. And then you got Broncos, Bills. But, the Bills, are going to win at home. But it wouldn't surprise me if Russell Wilson and the Broncos play better than people anticipate. It might end up being like a Bills win by a little instead of by a Bills win by a blowout. But we'll see. It depends if the Bronco defense steps up on the road or not. Let me see how many reaction videos. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's at least 8 good matchups for reaction videos. So we'll see what we do. We'll see what we do tomorrow. I can't start doing the reaction videos to the NFL highlights until 1:30 anyways, after the morning games are over. So, all right. Any other photos or anything else that people want, just let me know. This will help us get through before we get into halftime. Yeah, absolutely, we will. We're one of the best. I don't say well coached teams because I don't feel that we're very well coached with Dan Lanning, but we'll make the proper adjustments in the second half, and we will pull away and win this game. We got to run the football more. That'll open up the pass. You know what I mean? And hopefully we get a few more sack lunches. I'm hoping for a pick six on Caleb before the game is over, which would be nice. But I know that if we, as long as we're methodical, we run the football, we don't go away from Bucky Irving. That'll open up things up for Troy Franklin and company. And then as long as we do that instead of passing every down, because that's what's going to get USC back in the game is if we eliminate the run. So as long as we have a nice balance of run and play action, and then we go deep when we need to, we should be fine. The defense will be able to step up and give us some good production with some sack lunches and hopefully a pick or a pick six. And if we're really lucky, we might end up getting a couple of plays with punt returns or kick returns, depending on where we have the football at. So there's a man right there, and Troy Franklin. Well, Marcus Mariota is at the game. Imagine there's quite a few Ducks that are there. What's good, bro? Yeah, well, like I said, we're going to end up having a pretty good day as far as numbers are concerned. It's going to end up getting us, a few more subs on top of that as well. Donos could be better until we get a goat in here to be able to take care of us. But on the first stream that I did for the Huskies and the Utes, we got over 1,800, so that's good. Let's see what the actual total is at right now. But it was at 1,800 and some change, and this Duck stream has a good chance to eclipse that. So let's take a quick peek. Where are we at? 1,841, and we're already at 1,600 plus, and it's only halftime with the Trojans and the Ducks. So that's a good sign. This one has a chance to get up there quite a bit. We're at 1,671 already with this one. So we'll see. Obviously, as the game gets a little bit closer, more people will hop in. So, but hopefully we can get a few subs out of the hard work, and hopefully someone can reward us for all the hard work and hit us with a nice dono to make it all worthwhile. So yeah, Acho's terrible. Crapopolis, not watching. All right, we got a couple more minutes and we'll be ready for some action. I just hate where the sports and sports talk is in 2023. There are just so many bad announcers calling games, so many bad personalities that are on TV that are just entertainers, but they don't know anything, and so many shitty former players that think that they're actually good on the microphone and have good opinions, and they're terrible. Like something needs to change, And like I said, if there wasn't Twitch or YouTube, the American public would be fucked for as far as content is concerned. I mean, imagine if there was no YouTube or Twitch and you were forced to watch what was on TV or podcasts. Everyone would be a fucking moron. Especially if you're listening to people like Acho or fucking Stephen A or Skip. I mean, that's sad how some people think that those are the best people on planet Earth. for sports coverage. It's fucking terrible. I'm looking to see if there's any other news. I mean, like I said, there was only a couple shows that I actually fucked with, like Pat McAfee show and then Good Morning Football. And then when Peter Traeger started stealing my material and EA Sports and Madden started stealing my shit too. I mean, it's fine. It's like a biggest form of flattery when they steal your shit. But I feel Pat McAfee show isn't really good anymore. It's like so many impersonations. And once they, did the whole ESPN, thing, it's like I feel it's not as entertaining as it was before. Like I can watch it for like a little bit, but there's no way in hell I can sit there and watch a Pat McAfee show for 3 hours anymore. I just won't do it. Like really, the only show I can watch from beginning to end is Good Morning Football, and even with that, it's not the same. With Jamie Erdahl and with McCourty, but it's better than anything else that's on TV. And that's the honest truth. There's nothing else that I can sit down and actually enjoy. Traeger's fugazi fuck, but Angry Runs is cool. Jamie Erdahl is well spoken. McCourty, is poor man's Nate. He's okay. He ain't Nate. And Jamie Erdahl ain't Kay, but I mean, it's better than anything else that's on TV. That's pretty fucking sad. Out of like the 100 programs that feature all of these former athletes and people that cover sports, there's only one show that I actually can sit through and watch from beginning to end. That's a problem. All right, baby. Let's go. Let's get to 30 and then try to get to 40, especially with the amount of people that we have. She's okay. You know, she's well spoken, and I already knew Rachel Bonetta wasn't going to fucking get it. She's fucking terrible, but really, if they really wanted to have the best of the best, like they would have Colleen Wolfe as the host. She is the best female NFL reporter by a billion. It's not even close. She's good looking. She's well spoken. She has style. She can talk. She has good opinions. She's not, overly biased, even though she's an Eagle fan. Like there, like I said, there's just certain people that put on a good performance and that are well spoken and do a fantastic job. And obviously, they have her for pregame and postgame for like the NFL games. So I get it. And sometimes she does Good Morning Football on the weekends, but she was better than Kay. To me, she is hands down the best. Like if honestly, if I had my choice, I would probably go Colleen Wolfe, Cynthia Freeland, and then Traeger and Kyle Brandt. I think that's probably where I would go. I'd go two girls and then two guys, and then I would go that route because obviously I'm not really a big fan of Mina Kimes either. I think she's super intelligent, but not for me. If I'm going to go for someone that's super intelligent, I'd rather go with Cynthia Freeland. So like with Mina, she like some people are gonna like her, some people, are gonna be like, she's all right. You know what I mean? I think she's super intelligent, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to listen to her talk for fucking an hour. But I like Cynthia Freeland. I think she's very, very smart. She likes to do the analytics and the stats. Colleen Wolfe is a good talker. She's got good opinions. And then Traeger, he could be replaced, but he's already been on that show for so goddamn long. And Kyle Brandt really is the only good thing on that show anymore. But I do, but Jamie Erdahl and McCourty have been getting better, and you should. I mean, like I said, if you've been on the show with the other two, eventually you have to pick up chemistry, and it's not the same without Kay and without Nate. But I actually miss Nate a lot more than Kay. To me, Kay was kind of an asshole, especially to like Will Selva. Like if you notice when Will Selva cuts into the show, and she was always rude to him, like thinking that she was better than everyone else on the show, and that's why they booted her. Now she's doing her little up and atoms that nobody watches. So, but we are in a very sad state of affairs with sports talk. That's facts. 22-14 Ducks. Nate is uber talented, because Nate is one of those people that he can come off as a former player, a man. He can be a little bit hood. He can be a little bit like professional. He knows how to talk and change his tone. He can vibe with anybody, someone that's old, someone that's young. He's got a good personality. He's cool off the field, and there's a reason why CBS wanted him, because he's one of the best in the world, and that's why he got the promotion. They didn't give Kay a promotion. They fucking got rid of her ass. Probably because they didn't like her attitude, It's like, why would you go from Kay to Jamie Erdahl? Obviously, Kay is better looking, and a lot of people would go there based off looks. But obviously, if it's not just the looks, and you're trying to be able to, get people to watch because of how cute Kay is, then obviously it's something that she said or how she is as a person. Like, why would you get rid of two pieces? Especially if Nate is already gone. Why would you get rid of another piece when you already know you're going to lose ratings without Nate there? So. Sometimes you got to be more than just a pretty face. Sometimes you actually have to treat people right. And if you don't treat people right, then your ass will get fired, or they'll let you go, or not renew your contract. So, and I honestly, Kay's pretty and all, but I don't really miss her takes or over exaggerated Saints bias and Bears bias. So, but I do miss Nate a lot. He definitely made the show really good. With him and Kyle. And, Schrager is supposed to be like the smart one, but he's just a fugazi fuck that watches channels like mine and steals my material and acts like it's his. So I have no respect for that motherfucker. Shotgun set. Pump fake. Get that first down. Here we go. Yeah, but Colleen is the best in the business, period. Like, if I could do a show with one person on planet Earth, it would be Colleen Wolfe, hands down. She is by far the best, and it's not even close. Kay always came across as fake to me. Colleen doesn't. You can definitely tell like how people carry themselves. Come on, Oregon. But usually me and Paisley will wake up super early, watch a little bit, go for a walk, and then end up watching a majority of the show. But I mean, that's really the only thing that I can watch on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, that one show, and that's it. And I just do all my own reading and research and film study on my own. There's nothing that anyone else says that actually means anything. Nice catch. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. I don't know. Kay's pretty hot too. I mean, they're both good-looking women. But if there's a difference on who I would want to listen to, and watch for 3 hours. It's one thing if you're just looking at them and you're just drooling, and if you're like a dude and you're just trying to find a good-looking chick that knows football. So you can definitely go Kay or Colleen, but I want to be able to learn something and not have bias and just someone that's not fake. But the chemistry definitely isn't the same with the other two, but they're trying. But at least they didn't make the uber mistake by putting like Rachel Bonetta. They tried her out for a couple days, and they tried out a bunch of different people to try to do the host spot. But some people are just not a fucking fit. Little screen pass. There we go. First down, Ducks. All right, Oregon, let's go, baby. Got to get a score here right out of the gates. Let's go. And a lot of times, a lot of the shows, they lack originality, and that's why they, come to channels like YouTube and they steal material because they don't know what's hot in the streets, and they're not original. They would rather just piggyback off someone else's success and catchphrases and nicknames instead of trying to be unique and come up with their own. How lazy people are on TV and podcasts now. They can't do it themselves. They have to just go spy on other people and steal their shit. It's just It's a sad state of affairs that we're in the sports world. Oh, Bucky. Ooh. Good job, Tez. Come on, Ducks. I mean, we already had Noah Whittington out for the year. Fuck, that doesn't look good. He's okay. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. You know, it didn't look like it didn't look like an ACL or an MCL. He'll be fine. He probably won't come back in this game, but he'll be okay. There we go. Touchdown, Ducks. That's what we needed after that Bucky Irving injury. He won't be coming back, but I mean, now we're down to our fucking third string running back. You know, and again, if we want to be able to beat Oregon State and beat Washington, we're not going to be able to beat them if we don't have Bucky Irving and James. You know, it's like we already went down with no Noah Whittington, so it's not like we're in a situation where we have like LeGarrette Blunt, and the Michael James like we did back then. You know, we're starting to get kind of thin. Extra point is up, and it's good. They're not chasing for 2-point conversions. Oh, dog, that's my dog. That's my oos. You know what, baby? Haters are always going to hate. You know, but those people on TV and the podcast, they know who I am. They be spying on my shit. They be stealing my material. 29-14 Oregon. Let's go. Hopefully we get a good update there with Bucky. But again, it didn't look that bad. It maybe a little hip flexor. You know, his leg got kind of swept underneath him. But I mean, I've watched football since, '85. So, I mean, I've been watching it for like 38 years. So it didn't look that bad. It didn't look season ending. Will he come back today? No. But will he be out next game? Probably. But will he be ready for Oregon State? I hope so. So, speaking of K, so we got Arizona State, right? They're 3-7 on the road. We'll beat the brakes off of them. And then we got Oregon State versus Oregon at the end of the year, 5:30 on Fox. I'm going to try to get tickets to go to that game. But if I can't go, I'll be streaming it here. So we just have to pray that, Bucky, will be all right. He won't play the rest of this game. He'll be out for Arizona State more than likely. We won't even need him for that game. We can just roll with James. And then not LaMichael, and then Jordan, and then we'll go at Beavers. It's so awesome that the Beavers are 8-2. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize how awesome that is. Like, both Oregon schools are balling. 10-0 for Washington, 8-1 for Oregon. We're about to be 9-1, and then the Beavers are 8-2. The Beavers are better than Arizona, better than USC, better than Utah. And I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I told y'all that they were going to be good. Some people didn't want to listen, but I'm not going to be a hater. I know talent when I see it. And then on top of that, the main reason that they have 2 or 3 extra wins this year is Ugalele, the transfer from Clemson. You could already tell, that he had the skills to elevate them. And little sleeper player, Damian Martinez, the running back. He had 4 scores today. That guy's a stud. You could argue that he is not maybe on the Bucky Irving level, but just below. He's pretty fucking good. Cirillo Angel Hernandez in the building. What's good? 29-14 Oregon. Let's go, baby. Hit his ass. Smoke him. And I'm glad I got a chance to be able to do pretty much every Duck game this season. I've always, wanted to be able to, do as many as I could, depending on if I'm going to Eugene or not. But I mean, the only game I've missed so far is just, the Colorado game, which ended up being a blowout. But it was an amazing experience. And shout out to Mo Gumbo for gifting those tickets. He ended up getting ripped off the first time around, spending hundreds of dollars getting ripped off. And then he could have quit and said, fuck it. I tried getting you tickets, but I got ripped off. But then spent more money to make sure I could go. If that's not a real one, I don't know what is. So we got some real special people on the channel, let me tell you. And I promise you, for the people that are loyal and the people that, hang with me, and that, they don't follow everyone else. If people show up, people don't show up. If you're loyal to the soil, you will be rewarded very, very heavy when the time is right. Believe you me. I mean, like, loyalty is everything to me. Honesty, loyalty, and respect. And if you got that loyalty, you will be taken care of handsomely. Okay. But if you don't, you won't get shit from me down the road. And that's facts. Caleb, floater, incomplete. If that was Wemby, that might have been a catch. Pass incomplete. Yeah. I just feel bad that we weren't able to get, more on the dono side so I could actually buy, a hoodie for Zini and, and get Odin's son, some, maybe some like wrestling figures or something, or some Bray Wyatt merch or something, because I know that he's not in a very good space right now, with one family member that passed and another that looks like it might pass also. That's a tough, situation to be in. But, hopefully we'll get the right type of people to support this channel. Some that might have more extra finances than others that can actually, back this channel properly. So that way that we can actually do, giveaways and do some fun things. Yeah, and there's definitely a reason why certain other streamers haven't rated my channel, because they feel that my channel is a threat to their mods and their heavy hitters. Because normally when I end up doing streams, you're gonna have people raid regardless of what you're at on your sub count, but they definitely are threatened because they feel that if they come in here with their people, that their people are going to donate more to me than them, and they don't like that, and that's why some of those channels haven't done that this year. There we go. Nice job, Ducks. It's like you don't got to be so salty with everything, but again, there's a lot of people that have ego, and it's a competition. Instead of trying to work together and make each other better, but some of those people, they're haters. That's just plain and simple. Second down and 12, 29-14 Oregon. But I like helping people out. I don't like being a hater. I like being able to support people. And, if someone's got dreams, I'm going to support them, Like even with Rooftop, not having a whole lot of subs. I mean, I definitely could have ignored him and just told him to, go look up YouTube tutorials and figure your shit on your own, but like regardless if you're at a high sub count or a low sub count, if someone needs help, you help them. But not everyone acts that way. That's facts. All right, baby, here we go. Third down and 6. 29-14 Oregon. Let's go defense. Let's go. Shotgun set. Third down and 6. Caleb steps up in the pocket. Run! Oh, I would say if he would have took off initially, I think he might have been able to get closer to that first down. But that little hezzy trying to wait for someone to get open cost him that first down. Like you can't be hesitant. You have to make your decision. Go. You just can't be like, oh, and then all of a sudden he lost his footing there. But if he would have just went for it initially, I think he would have been very, very close. If he would have missed that first down, it would have been by inches. Fourth down. So are they going to go for it or try to get Oregon to jump off sides here? I mean, you're down by 15 already. Fourth down and 3. This is a dumb decision to go for it here by USC, but what am I, we got Dan Lanning as head coach, so I have no room to talk. Shotgun set, 4th down and 3. Ducks bringing pressure. Marker down. False start on the O-line or delay a game. 4 more likes. Let's get there. It would be nice if we can actually get people to listen to you this season. We had plenty of people listening last season, but I guess this year is different, right? No one likes to listen. This goes in one year, out the other, right? Sad. Thumbnails are better, backgrounds are better, scoreboard's good. But the bottom line is, some people are going to be lifers and they're going to ride or die for life, and others are fake and they're not going to be here all the time. So, or at all. 4th down and 8. USC with the punt. See how bad the Kraken lost. Did they even score a goal? Oh, they scored 1 goal. Oilers 4, Kraken 1. God, the Kraken are terrible this year, just like the Blazers. But the Kraken still can turn it around. All right, Ducks. I mean, even at this point, it's all about strategy, right? Even at this point, if you kick 3, it's a win. 32-14, you put yourself up in that position. You're up by 18 instead of being up by 15. You don't necessarily have to get a score and just, nail in the coffin. Just do what's available. Take what the defense gives you. Just like what me and Matt were saying earlier in the game. You don't have to go for the jugular and you don't have to go for the curb stomp every single time. Sometimes you can just let the game kind of come to you, and field goals are important. Just like offensive linemen. It may not be sexy, but you got to have them to win. So hopefully they end up getting in good position, and if we have a chance for 3, hopefully we take it. So. Got another sub, 844 away from 21,000. One more like to 30. You know what's crazy, Sarah? I think we're going to get better views on Jets Raiders than we are with the. Why do you think the viewership was like so low with Bengals Bills? Do people really not care about Bengals Bills, or do you think people are busy? Like that was just like the weirdest shit ever. Like that's actually a decent matchup, even though the Bills are kind of ass this year with their defense and their lack of running game and Josh Allen not being as good. But still, it's the Buffalo Bills, and then the Bengals with Burrow. So you got 2 of the top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL. Normally it was 2 of the top 3, but we already know Mahomes and Burrow was hurt. Mahomes hasn't been very good this year, and Allen hasn't been as good either. And Jalen is kind of taken over, but I don't know. It was just so weird to see such a turnout like that, but we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm planning all, try to do as many reaction videos as I can. And I guess we can do the stream and then we can evaluate for like a quarter or 2 and see how many people are in the room. And then if I decide to end it early, then I can continue on, doing reaction videos and get a few more out. So Paterno and Rich Brooks. But, even though the matchup on paper looks like dog shit with the Jets and Raiders, I actually kind of want to watch that game. More than I want to watch Broncos and Bills. That one is like almost unwatchable, but, it's Monday Night Football, so, people will show up to hang out for that one. Incomplete. But I guess nothing should really surprise us this year, Like it's definitely been, a year of, some good things, but a lot of underwhelming, streams and support. So, but it definitely shows who's going to support you when things are good and who's going to support you when things are challenging. You know, just like with friendship, right? Anyone can be here or be somewhere when things are going good. But when things start getting tough, fake friends leave. Real ones stay. So Marcus Mariota, OG, triple OG, my boy, my cousin. What up, Marcus? Go Ducks. Shotgun set. Pump fake by Bo. And obviously, our offense is going to be discombobulated now because we don't have Bucky Irving. You know what I mean? Now you're playing kind of hesitant. You're not going through the normal play calls. You need to be able to act like James can do it. Even though he's third string, right? But again, if you're going to be tentative like this and you don't have a good game plan, USC will kind of scratch and claw their way back. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they end up getting a touchdown on this next drive or the drive after. We're only up by 15 right now, but it doesn't feel like we won this game yet. It's like all USC needs is a score and then a turnover and then a score and then all of a sudden the game is tied. So hopefully we can figure out what we want to do because we know Bucky Irving is such an important piece of the offense, but if we go away from him and start throwing the football, there's a legitimate shot that USC can force overtime and come back. Because I don't really feel good about how the offense is looking right now. The show, my oos. Oh, you can't switch now. Too late to switch. We'll see if they turn into Jay-Z and Beyonce and have kids or not. We'll find out. But one thing I'm for sure is that if the Chiefs keep playing the way that they're playing, they're not going to the Super Bowl this year, let alone winning. Unfortunately, I mean, unless they can get that wide receiver position figured out. The defense is great, but I don't like the way that Mahomes and that wide receiving core are playing. But I mean, they could figure it out, but the chances of getting the same teams back in the Super Bowl twice is not likely. Plus, you got teams like the Jags and the Ravens, that can't be underestimated. And then who knows? It could be a team like Joe Burrow and the Bengals getting hot at the right time. So, if we're going to choose a team to make it back to the Super Bowl, it ain't going to be Kansas City. It'll probably be Philadelphia. So, as long as they don't have any injuries, the Eagles should win it all. But we will see. Still got half a season to go. Are we at 30 yet? What are we at? All right, this stream has surpassed the last one. We had 1,800 on the first stream. Now this one's at 1,900 plus, 1,922. Let's go. 29-14 Oregon. Help your boy out with the analytics. If you don't want to comment and you don't want to donate and you don't want to sub, the least you can do is at least like the stream to help our analytics and our metrics. Zachariah Branch, he's a stud. He's got fucking wheels. He's like their D'Anthony Thomas there. But there's people watching on Twitter and X as well as people in the room, and I guarantee not every single one of them is subscribed. So, but people love to be able to spy. You know, it's like their favorite thing to do. Like YouTube subs are like the most precious thing on planet Earth. Like, you know, Lord of the Rings, you know, and you know, my precious, like that for whatever reason. First down and 10, 29-14 Ducks. Shotgun set. Caleb, floater, and complete. Hopefully Twitter and X will implement donations and comments through there as well at some point, but they don't have the technology for it just yet, but hopefully they'll implement that too. So that way we can get the comments and the donos on that end also. That would help out quite a bit. Ducks went off sides. Free play for Caleb. Hit him! Dancing and romancing over there. And Dancing with the Stars. Hit his ass. Offsides on the Ducks. A lot of jealousy, a lot of haters out there. Haters love to hate. 29-14 Oregon. Shotgun set. Caleb. Fumble. Coughed it up. Go Ducks. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, sir. Good turnover by the Ducks. That's exactly what we needed. Either a pick or a fumble, and we got one. There we go. Caleb, what happened? I love it. Well, Kraken lost 4-1. USC's losing this game, so I mean, you know, you're not going to win them all. But on the bright side, if the Hawks end up beating Washington, at least then it will, you know, some things will be better, right? Camden Lewis, don't go away from him. Keep giving him opportunities. And hopefully we get a Bucky Irving update. Let me throw a photo up. If we don't got Bucky Irving, I don't even know what our chances are to be able to beat Oregon State without him. Hell, I mean, we're not even talking Washington in the Pac-12 championship game, but if we're talking just these last two games, it'll be very critical. Hopefully it's okay, just like a minor sprain or a hip flexor or something. Our offense, you know, we live and breathe and die through Bucky Irving. So if we didn't have Bucky Irving, Bo wouldn't be as good this season, 100%. He'd get exposed. He'd have way more interceptions than he does right now. Not that he would have like double digit picks, but instead of having like a couple, he'd be closer to 10 probably. Good defense, Ducks. 2:26 left in the third quarter. Now, when you're up like this, you can just run the football. You know, you're going to have to pass the football, but if you're a smart coach and you're a good coach, right, you bleed the clock. You still want to be able to, get your first downs here and there, but bleeding the clock and letting that clock run. You're up by 15. You're not up by 3. So if you're only up by 3, then you may be forced to throw the football a little bit more. But when you're up by 2 scores, you can run an RPO. You can run it with Bo Nix. You can go with the third string with James. I mean, we don't have any other choice now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that that's what we need to be done for us to win. First down, Ducks. Giants, Cowboys. No one cares about that game. Commanders, Seahawks. That one will be good. I just have to decide what I want to do at quarterback tomorrow. Mahomes has got to buy. Do I go Joshua Dobbs against the Saints? And he puts up 20 on them, running the football and passing. Do I go Kyler Murray in his first game? Or do I go Sam Howell on the road against the Seahawks? That's tough. There we go. Little check down. Go, go, go. There we go. Nice job, Jordan James. There we go. Let's go, baby. It's crazy how we're on our third string running back. Thank God that we're like, Iowa's like tight end you. A lot of our running backs, they may not be great on the NFL, but every year we're going to have 3 or 4. And thank God we have the depth this year, because if we didn't have anyone as close as James, we would be fucked right now for the rest of the season, especially if we found out that Bucky was out for the year, but I don't think we will. False start. Come on, Oregon. They got you on mute, Sarah, all year. Sarah's muted all year round. In one ear, out the other. There we go. Wow, Bucky Irving back in the game. Let's go. Hell yeah. They're like, it's like, give me a couple shots, wrap up my leg. Here's some adrenaline. Get in there. Good to see Bucky Irving back in the game. Thank God. All right, we're going to the fourth quarter as they do the shout in the fourth quarter here as we're in the commercial break. I'm going to use the restroom here real quick while I have like a minute, and then we'll be right back for the fourth quarter. Go Ducks. All right, your boy's back. All right, baby, fourth quarter. Oh, God, Bucky Irving being back, that's a relief. Swag, man. Let's go. We can't, get to the Pac-12 championship without him, and let alone we don't even have a chance to even consider that if we got to the playoff, we couldn't even win a playoff game. And then somehow, some way, if we were able to do that and make it to the Natty somehow, some way, yeah, it's like if you don't got Bucky, there's a 0% chance. I mean, we rely on him like we relied on LaMichael James when we had him. It's like if you take LaMichael out of that lineup, if depending on if Blunt is playing with us too or not. I mean, it's game over. Let's go, baby. William Mata. Yeah. But do you want to go Michigan versus Iowa, or they don't do it the same way where it's the best records? They do like a north and a south, like how we used to do it. So if it ends up being Michigan, Iowa, or Ohio State, Iowa, and you guys lose like 50-3, you still want to go? I mean, you have a hard enough time to be able to get more than 10 points now. Then you're going to play the best team in the conference. I guess it just depends on how much the tickets were, but it could get ugly if it ends up being it's going to be Michigan or Ohio State. The real question is who's going to win between Michigan and Ohio State in a week or two, right? Who's going to win? Who's going to win between those two teams? That's the real question. Does Michigan have the edge, or is Michigan at a disadvantage because they don't have Harbaugh now? So Ohio, because it's like Michigan has the better team, but Ohio State has the full roster and coach. So maybe we'll have to wait and see for what happens there. But I feel Michigan is better, but either team could win. But if you don't have Harbaugh on the sideline, you can't run the ball 30 times in a row to close out the game like they did today. Ohio State will figure something out. So, touchdown, Ducks. Bucky Irvin. Are we good? Yes, we are. There we go, baby. And the Ducks win the Natty. And I'm the only Duck streamer, too. So, there we go, baby. Touchdown, Oregon. Bucky Irving. Yes, sir. Hey, let me just run that little jet sweep. Good defense there, USC. Extra point is up, and it's good. Game over. Game over. OVA. OVA. Not OVO like Drake. It's OVA. Done deal. Let's go, baby. Go Ducks. Now, you've never been, right? Where are they playing the game at? In the Indianapolis? In the Colts stadium? Is that where they're playing the game? Bucky. 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 My fucking boy. Bucky's injured. Fucking give him some goddamn adrenaline. Comes out with a fucking spark. Leg fell off. No fucking problem. Put him back in the game, coach. He's like, my leg's fine. It's hanging off by a thread, by the bone. Who gives a shit? Get out there. Get it done. And then boom shakalaka. He did. Let's go, baby. Swag, 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 swag. Scouting report for the Ducks and Bucky Irving. He's fucking good. Case closed. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Indianapolis at Lucas. Well, that's what I figured. So yeah, I went to an NCAA location in Chicago, and it was pretty cool to be able to see. It wasn't the main NCAA headquarters, but I'm trying. It was like the Big Ten, blah 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 and whatnot. When I went there for a trip, when I went to go for work and whatnot, but went to see the Bulls, versus the Warriors. Got pictures in front of Wrigley, and yeah, Chicago is a wild place. Definitely would not live there. The crime there is unreal. But the food, I mean, there's a reason why everyone's like 500 pounds there. I mean, the portions of the food are nuts. Like a monster burrito the size of your head, and they're like 340. Like, what? Like, this burrito should be at least $15 anywhere else in the country. They're like, no, $3. Oh, shit. And that deep dish, though, golly. Once you have deep dish in Chicago and then you go back and eat anything, it doesn't even have to go all the way down to like Little Caesars, but like Pizza Hut, Domino's, Bellagio's, Round Table, any of the other options, it's like you can't even do it. Like you have to actually take a break from pizza because you're going to be disappointed. Like once you have like one piece of deep dish is literally as thick as having like 4 pieces of pizza somewhere else. It's ridiculous. Like you can't even really eat that much of it because it's so layered and good. But Lou Malnati's, there's a couple places pretty bomb. We went to a couple. Well, I would hope so. Shit, I mean, we got almost 2,000 people, that are that are in the stream. I mean, with that amount of people, it should be closer to 40 or 50, actually. But what can we do? Haters gonna hate. Giordano's, that's good too. We went to there and Lou Malnati's. Went to both of those places, and then a really bomb Mexican place, but I can't remember the name of it. Literally burritos the size of your head for like $3 to $5. Like no lie, it was crazy. Like you eat as much as you can, and there's still like 60% of the burrito left, even if you're like really hungry. Like insane portions. Good tackle by the Ducks. All right, 36-14 in the fourth quarter, baby. See if we can get a goat to come in at the very end and save the day. We used to have that happen pretty often, not so much anymore. But you never know. Every once in a while, it does happen. So new goats need to emerge. New heavy hitters need to emerge. That's what needs to happen. We need to like revamp the fan base and get a new fan base. Extend the fan base. Yeah, he's good. Like on the college level, it's like people want to always like, okay, you went to Auburn, you're at Oregon. People always want to like, second fiddle us, like, oh, you guys can't beat Michigan or Ohio State or Georgia or Bama. And in most cases, people are right. The Pac-12 typically can't keep up unless it's a team like with Pete Carroll, with like Reggie Bush or Matt Leinart, or or you have like a super team with like LaMichael and D'Anthony, and then you're okay. Well, if you got super teams like that, then you guys can hang. But it's pretty rare, for a team in the Pac-12, let alone two, that can keep up with everyone in the country. But that's what we got this year with the Washington Huskies and Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks. And wouldn't it be wild if actually Bo Nix pans out in the NFL? That would be great. I mean, he's going to be the one that's scrutinized the most. He could have the most touchdowns, the best touchdown to interception ratio, but people are still going to question his ability and say that he can't make it. He's going to be like, quarterback 7, 8, 9. But it would be really ironic if Bo Nix goes to the NFL and ends up being better than Caleb Williams. I mean, his completion percentage is better, but again, the athleticism goes to Caleb. But what about, the team that they go to? If like Bo Nix goes to closer to a playoff team, like maybe the Vikings or the Bucks, and then Caleb goes to the Cardinals or the Bears, it's not like I think Caleb's going to turn that shit around. Like you need a hell of a lot more than just Caleb. I mean, look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields was hella skilled in college, and it don't look like he can make it there. Like he's going to have to go somewhere else. But again, if you put Justin Fields like on the Niners, you would get more out of Justin Fields because they have good coaching and a better line, better weapons. But it's like sometimes you go to certain franchises and you don't have a whole lot of hope. Like, you're going to have to rebuild for like 3 or 4 years. And then, if you're lucky, It may be one or two, but that's only if you get like a Doug Peterson situation instead of Urban Meyer at Jacksonville. But how many situations are you the worst team in football for let alone 1 year, but two, and then you're able to get a head coaching change, Dougie P, Urban Meyer, see you later, right? And then you bring in guys like Christian Kirk, you had Etienne and Lawrence, and then now you're the best team in the AFC South, and you're honestly one of the best teams in football. And if they end up beating the Niners tomorrow, don't be surprised. If the Niners are healthy 100%, they probably could win that game. But if Trent and Debo are still hurt and they're not playing, that team hasn't lost since September. I think we need to start by giving a little bit more respect, and love to the Jags and the Ravens. But again, most of these people on TV, they're only going to go for the big market teams or the teams that are traditionally good. Kansas City, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills. But as we know, Buffalo is ass, and the Chiefs' offense doesn't look good. The defense looks great, top three, but offense does not look good besides Pacheco. And then every once in a while, Mahomes and Kelsey still looks kind of firm. But as far as the rest of the receiving core and the other tight ends, it does not look good. No Bieniemy, no Juju. Rashee Rice is good, but you got to have more than just him. And then if he starts dropping, then who do you go to? Kadarius Toney? I mean, good luck with that. I mean, you got to get someone better than that. That's why I'm concerned there, but the teams I like right now in the AFC, like kind of trending upwards, I like the Bengals, kind of under the radar with Joe Burrow. He's a stud, way better than Josh Allen, who's fake, Buster Brown. Then Burrow, Bengals, good offense, good defense, right? Ravens, Lamar, Andrews, defense, baller, Roquan Smith, stud, okay? And then Jacksonville, right, with the real Josh Allen, the one that actually is good on defense, and then Etienne, and then the rest of the studs that they got on there with Ridley and Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence. And then NFC, it's just Eagles. You already know what it is. It's Jalen Hurts, offensive line, defensive line, all that depth. And then there's a bunch of teams after them. Niners, Lions, Seahawks, Saints, Cowboys. They're all kind of sprinkled in after. And if the Saints keep using AK-41 and Taysom Hill, don't be surprised if they upset someone because they got a good offense and defense when they give the ball to Taysom instead of Carr. They could be that sleeper team that I thought at the beginning of the year that, could be a little bit better, but Carr hasn't really played that well. AK was out for about a month, and they just started going to Taysom Hill within the last month, and then he's been producing mad stats. Flag on the play, boo! That might have been a PI on Oregon. But I like balance. That's one thing you'll always notice about me. Even if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm going to give love to the Saints if I feel they deserve it. If I'm a Duck fan, I'll give love to the Beavers and Washington or the Trojans or whoever. It's all about greatness and talent. I could give two shits on what jersey, that you're wearing on the front. It's about the name on the back. And if I think that there's talent there, then why hate on it? It's just ridiculous. Especially if you end up hating on a player in college and then you're like, oh, this guy fucking sucks. And then all of a sudden that guy gets drafted to your NFL team. Then what do you do? Maybe you're happy after you're talking shit about the guy. It just depends on who it is. But I like teams with balance. So I like the Saints. I like the Eagles. I like the Lions. I like balance. Seahawks are starting to get there, but they don't got it just yet. And then obviously I like what we're getting out of the Jags and the Ravens, as far as that balance too. There might be a couple surprise teams in the AFC NFC Championship game this year. Don't be surprised. Caleb, floater, incomplete. Get those likes up. How many more to get to 40? 10? We got to try to get to 40 and then try to hit our goal. Goats, where are you? Hello? Tell me how you really feel. 36-14 Oregon. You would have fun, Nat. Like if I could ever get you to come down from Hawaii, you would lose your goddamn mind. You probably wouldn't even move back to Hawaii. No lie. You'd be like, oh my God. Like once you go to feel the whole vibe of a game, like you get hooked on it, man. It's like they say people have addictions and whatnot, alcohol and other things, party things. I mean, you can get addicted to that Eugene vibe, bro. I'm telling you. I've gone to almost every sporting event, possible. And by far, the best vibe is in Eugene. I've gone to Seahawks. I've gone to Mariners. I've gone to Beavers. I've gone to Blazers. I've gone to playoff games. I've gone to pretty much everything, and it's wild there. Wide open. Golly. Well, at least we got him a chain, but we'll see one of these days. You got to come down to because especially if you live there in Hawaii, there's no point in visiting anywhere else in the lower 48 besides Oregon. Period. All right, Uncle Mo. See if Caleb can do something. You're like I said, all the NFL scouts are watching, and it's not like Kayvon Thibodeau. We have three of them out there. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of like no name guys on defense. But I mean, if Caleb is struggling with us, how is he going to play in the NFL? You know what I mean? That's the real question. You get Drake May. You're supposed to be the next thing since whoever. Andrew Luck or Trevor Lawrence, right? But a lot of your stats this year are like 1-1 or 2-2. But I know Josh Downs isn't there, and you lack some talent in North Carolina. But that's what we're looking for as far as evaluators of talent. If people want to come to me for predictions and win money through DraftKings or just in general or fantasy football, you have to watch the tape. But these are real questions about these quarterbacks that this upcoming draft class seems like it's going to be the most overhyped, but it might end up being the most overrated. Like we might think we're going to have so many good players, but we barely have any. Out of it. Like we have names, but they just don't pan out to what we think they're going to pan out to. And I think that's a strong possibility too. Like imagine having 9 quarterbacks pass incomplete. Imagine having 9 quarterbacks go in the first 2 rounds, and we think it's going to be 5 that are going to make it, 2 that are going to be elite, 3 that are going to be above average, and then the others are going to be backups or have to fight for their chance to get a shot to shine, or they go back to college, like a Shedeur Sanders, right? But what happens if we have 9 quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds and we only have like 1 that pans out? Like 1 guy pans out. Who is that going to be? Caleb? Probably not. I would say you probably have a better chance with like a Drake May or a Michael Penix Jr. At least, that's the vibe that I'm kind of getting. Plus winning the Heisman, all that extra pressure. He puts too much pressure on himself. And the stats don't lie. You play against shitty teams, 85 touchdowns, 5 picks, 70% completion percentage. You play a top 25 team, not including the stats from last week against Washington. It was like, 50% completion percentage. It goes down 20, which is not good. And then you go from like 8 touchdowns and 8 picks. That's not good. If you're supposed to be elite, number 1 pick in the draft, it can't be that much of a difference where you're just like Madden all-star on one level against shitty and then play against good teams. And then all of a sudden you're like average. Like you're not even, average is what people would normally say Bo Nix is. Like, that quarterback's average. But no, we know Bo's better. But people don't want to give Bo the credit. It's like this bias against us, But with Caleb, it's like maybe the overhype and just being the name and winning the Heisman last year and these expectations. Like, you're supposed to be the Patrick Mahomes of the NFC. If I don't live up to that, I'm a failure. Well, if you already got that mentality, fuck, you are going to fail because you're not even doing it in college. So, Michael Penix Jr., Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, I'm trying to talk it into existence, remember? So Michael Penix Jr., the best 2 spots for him, Minnesota Vikings, purple, Huskies, Vikings. Boom, Jay Jetta for Michael Penix Jr. Boom, shakalaka, ESP, you're welcome. And then if that doesn't happen and I get my dream, then I get him. Michael Penix Jr. on the Bucs, but it might end up being Bo Nix on the Bucs because he's like Baker, but could be better. And then Michael Penix Jr. on the Vikings. And then we have a Tua in the NFC. So even though maybe Caleb Williams goes to Arizona or Chicago. But, I mean, honestly, you could put Michael Penix Jr., Drake May at that spot also. No quarterback is going to fix those fucking teams that are at the bottom. There's a lot of fucking work, So, like, if you're the Bears, right, and you're sitting there, depending on what direction they go, it's like, you don't even really have to get a quarterback. Like, you could still go with Justin Fields and then go for the best offensive lineman in the draft and then Maserati Marv and then go for Marvin Harrison. I mean, the guy's fucking ridiculous. The guy can get like 5 touchdowns a game if they wanted to. He had 3 in the first half. He's so much better of a route runner. It's like when Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase were in college, it was ridiculous. That's how it is for him. So you already know that if you play fantasy football and you get Marvin Harrison Jr. and he actually has a somewhat capable quarterback, there's a chance that he could be a top 10 fantasy star right away. So depending on where he goes, you got DJ Moore on one side, Justin Fields there. You get the best offensive lineman, like a left tackle. and get a center in the draft, and Jackson Powers from Oregon. You build up the line, then you get a better running back. You got you know a couple guys that are, I guess, somewhat capable. Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert and Dante Foreman, but you're not the same team without David Montgomery. You need a David Montgomery back, and all those other guys can be RB2s, RB3s. And then DJ Moore on one side, Maserati Marv on the other, Cole Kmet at tight end, build up the line, get another defensive stud. Why did you get rid of Roquan Smith? You're a fucking idiot. And then go from there. And then if you do that, then maybe, you could have something. But if the Bears decide to go Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison, that's not going to fix the problem. And complete. I mean, it'll make them a little bit more exciting to have like another name. And then if they ended up doing Caleb and Harrison, traded away Justin Fields and then got a pick for him and then ended up using that on another player, then you could see what would happen. But it'll be very interesting to see how the draft plays out with the Cardinals and the Bears and a few others, and who decides to trade up for one of these franchise quarterbacks, and how many, are we going to have that are good? Hopefully, 5 out of 9, not 1 out of 9 or 2 out of 9. 4th and goal. Shotgun set, Caleb Williams, blitz off the edge, 1-on-1. Brandon Rice, touchdown, Trojans. Jerry Rice's son has to score on the Ducks. Of course he does. Bada bing, bada boom. He said, bada bing, bada boom. Hold on. The game is over. Relax. Press coverage. Look at that ball placement by Caleb. Beautiful. I'll throw a Caleb photo up for that. Woofing. All right, bro. And another thing that kind of worries me about Caleb, if you really look at him, I feel that he believes in himself and he's got the swag and he's got the confidence. But I think that, how there's a difference between Kobe and Jordan and LeBron, where two of them have the Mamba mentality and will do whatever it takes to win. And then another one is just kind of athletic. I kind of feel that Caleb is like that. I feel that he's going to put so much pressure on himself more than any of the other quarterbacks that it'll force him to force plays and make him play worse than he actually is. And then if he starts doing that, game in, game out, starts throwing 2 picks, a pick 6, 1 touchdown and 3 picks, I mean, he's going to lose his swag and his confidence. And then if you end up being broken, it's hard to be able to bring it back. But I feel with Michael Penix Jr., Drake May, we'll see what about Quinn Ewers and Shedeur Sanders and Bo Nix. I feel that there's not as much pressure, but it all depends on who wins the Heisman. And if you have a Heisman curse, it's at this point, Bo Nix. It's like Bo Nix for the Heisman. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, that would be cool. But now I'm like, no, I don't want Bo to have the Heisman because I don't want him to be cursed. You get the Heisman, you get cursed. Not today. Not today. But the only way you don't get cursed, you're a phenom. But again, what happens if Michael Penix Jr. wins the Heisman, but then he gets drafted 20th? Is that possible? Or does it automatically you win the Heisman so teams put you in the top 5 and top 10 because you won the Heisman? Or would it be something crazy where he dropped and then he's the 3rd or 4th quarterback taken, but then he gets picked by the Vikings and then boom, shakalaka, career, fantastic. Him, Jay Jetta, boom. Addison, Hawkinson, boom. Purple. It makes sense. Nothing would be more exciting than that next year. I mean, besides, him throwing to Godwin and Evans for me. So 9 likes to 30. Get there. Help your boy out. Like, sub, donate, whatever. Everything helps. $36, $21. Powers Johnson. I like him. If the Bears were smart and then they could get a bunch of draft picks for Fields, you used almost all of them on offensive line, and then you ended up picking, whatever quarterback you wanted to go with, if it's Michael Penix Jr. or Caleb, and then you got Marv, and then you already have DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. if you build that line, you can turn something into nothing, but you might have to fire the GM and the head coach, and there's like a lot of problems there. Like Gannon's not a very good coach, I feel, for the Cardinals either. It's like you got to fucking do a whole rebuild. It's like sometimes you just can't be like a shitty team like the Jags, and then all of a sudden it's like instantly good because you got Dougie P and they made the right free agent moves and they had Etienne and Lawrence, and those were the right picks to do that year. They hit, on the quarterback and the running back, and then the teammate thing like Burrow and Jamar. So not every team is going to come out being shitty for 2 years in a row and then now magically looks like one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, that's a very special case. 29. Get it. This Batman animated series I'm watching from 1992 has 65 episodes as a cartoon in season one. It is the wildest shit ever. I love like 80s and 90s cartoons, but I've never heard of a season having 65 episodes, let alone cartoon episodes. That's wild. I'm on 43. Go, baby, go. Go, Bucky, go. First down, Ducks. My boy, Bucky Irvin. Let's go. 36-21. We're the real deal, man. It'd be so crazy because I was so disappointed when we lost to Auburn. I ended up going to the Duck store on game day that morning when the jerseys for LaMichael just came in, and they only had like two, and I was like lucky enough to grab one. And then obviously what happened, we lost that game, but I got it stitched on the back, got the patch on the front. But I haven't had a game like hurt me that bad. That one hurt the most, like because that was one that we should have won. It was that fluke play by the Auburn running back rolling on the top of the guy's back, and when his knee didn't hit the ground. And if that play didn't happen for him to gain the additional like 12 yards, and they got into field goal range, like that was our game. Like it literally took a fluke play for someone to run crazy, run into a bunch of people, roll on someone else's back, not have your knee hit, and then roll to the other side and gain like 12 yards. Like the craziest shit you could possibly think of. But that's what happened. But I guess you have to feel that pain before you can win a championship. But it would be really crazy if like this is the champion, like the Oregon Ducks actually win the Natty. Like that would be just the wildest shit ever. Because I don't think this is the most talented team that we've ever had by far, but we're very competitive with the rest of the teams that are playing this year. It's just that the SEC and the Big Ten are down this year, and the Pac-12 is up. So everyone is even. It actually feels like any of six teams could win the championship. That's good. It's the first time we've had that in like 15 years. It's been fucking Georgia, Bama, Bama, Georgia, Bama, Bama, LSU, Georgia, Georgia, Bama. Like kind of cool. And then a little bit of like Clemson mixed in, and every once in a while it would be like USC, but that was like with Reggie Bush and Pete Carroll. We haven't really had like a Pac-12 jump off in a minute. Fergie, first down, Ducks. Move the chains. Bo Nick's rocking that 10 like J Herb, baby. 10 is a legacy. First down, Oregon. Be cool too. It's like we've had a lot of like tough times, and if like Oregon actually, could win, and to be able to celebrate that, with other, fans and whatnot, like that would be a pretty special moment. I'm hoping to be able to have that moment on the channel. I mean, I'm going to do this until I die. I mean, this is my full-time job, right? But I want to be able to experience what it feels like to win a championship with the Mariners. Like, honestly, like what that would feel like. And then the Ducks. Like, I would want to be able to have that. Like, Blazers, we've already won it. And then I've already gone through like the Clyde Drexler era where we went to a couple finals against the Bad Boys and Jordan. So it's like the basketball one wouldn't really mean as much, but the Mariners never went before, Ducks. I mean, that would be really, really special. And I actually said that to my buddy a couple weeks ago. And normally I talk shit into existence, but it just felt weird saying it. But like as every week has progressed, like we're like really proving that we are the real deal, and none of our players have fucked up enough for us to lose. It's literally been the coach that held us back. Like I have never seen that. You hope that you have someone like a Chip Kelly, risk taker, but understands when to take the risk instead of just like blindly throwing like a dart at a board on a wall, and then that's like when we're going to go for it on fourth down, or we're going to go for a touchdown instead of a field goal. And I don't really like that, but you know, it works when you play teams that are lower than you and you beat them. But if you play a team that is on your level, a one little mistake like that can cost you the dub, and that's what happened with the Husky game. The better team has won the last 2 times, but it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. And if we play on neutral turf, not in Autzen, not in Seattle, not in Washington, not where the Huskies are or where the Ducks are, but if we're playing like neutral, I think that gives us an advantage. I think we're the better team in a neutral field. But it's cool. It's like, okay, I get my favorite team and I get to see my favorite player, even though that's a rival to Oregon. I mean, shit. And you got to understand, if I like Michael Penix Jr. more than Bo Nix in Oregon, I mean, that must be saying something, because why would I say something like that unless I really believed in that kid? Certain times you have like a vibe or a feeling about a player. And I'm not wrong all the time. I mean, I'm not going to be right 100%, but I feel like the amount that you watch and then you read, and if you've been watching a long time, if you can just see tendencies, and then you can end up being a better predictor of talent and greatness. Who's going to pan out and who's not. So sometimes you can't predict the injuries, but if you look at the skill set and you can kind of see, okay, have they hit the ceiling? Are they not going to get any better? Like a Marcus Mariota, and it's just going to be injuries that will hold you back? Or are you going to progressively get better and better and better and be like one of the greats of all time? Like, very, very hard to be able to be beast mode in the NFL. Like, it's very possible that like Bo Nix goes to the NFL and is garbage, like Baker Mayfield or worse. But he could also go to the NFL and get on the right team and be better than Baker Mayfield, and actually maybe start for not every team in the NFL, but maybe like 2. So that's saying something. Like you're not great, but you're still could start for maybe 2 or 3 teams at the bottom. And then the next draft class comes in. And then normally you'll be like a backup. But if you can get to a point where you're like a Ritter, or like some of these guys where you're like, you can start for a few teams, but you need to actually prove that you belong. Otherwise, you're going to be second string or worse the rest of your life. You need to step up when you get your shot, right? Mom spaghetti, you need your shot, like Eminem, right? You need to get out there and get it done. So I'm very interested to see, how things are going to progress. Because I think most people assume Caleb is going to be Pat Mahomes, in the NFC, and Bo Nix is going to suck in the NFL. That's the perception of what most people are thinking. But it would be really ironic if Bo Nix actually ends up being one of the best, and then Caleb ends up being like average. But I don't know what would really happen with Caleb. Would Caleb play bad, or would Caleb play bad and get hurt? Or would he just get hurt and he's playing well, and his only problem is he just gets fucking hurt? But hopefully it's not one of those things where he just gets out there and just plays like shit. Because then imagine if you pick Caleb Williams #1 overall, and he ends up being like a Jamarcus Russell, or not that bad, but like a bust, and then the other quarterbacks turn into like Hall of Famers or perennial Pro Bowlers or All Pro. Like, I like each quarterback. Like, I wish I could mold them into one. Like, I like Bo Nix's like mobility and in the way his footwork and his arm mechanics. I like Caleb's athleticism. I like Drake May's like height and weight, based off an NFL player. And then I like Michael Penix Jr. the most because he's a lefty. I think he's mentally tough. He's smooth. He's like Tua. We need another lefty. And when you're lefty, and if you can't throw, everyone can see. But if you throw really, really well, it looks better than any righty throwing the football. Like, something about a lefty going deep looks a lot sexier and better than any righty that's throwing. And then also, too, it's a strategy. Instead of having the left tackle being a right-handed quarterback, you have to have a right tackle for a lefty. So the whole game flips. So if you don't have a left-handed quarterback to practice on for a righty or a lefty like Tua and then the Dolphins, right? If you don't have the option, whenever you play a lefty team, you're going to get your ass kicked. Especially if that lefty quarterback is good. The Dolphins don't have the best defense. But they got Tyreek and Waddle, but Tua, like, people wanted to talk shit about him. Tua sucks. And he got the concussions. But then you start to realize, damn, Like Tua actually plays like a top 10 quarterback, sometimes top 5, but people wanted to hate on him because he was getting injured or whatever. The bias in the media wanted to talk shit. But then we're starting to learn, yes, Tyreek makes a big fucking difference in Waddle. But it shows you that like Tua's got the ability that even if he's not throwing to those elites, if he had guys that were a couple of tiers lower, that chances are their team would still be good enough to make the playoffs. He plays like that. He doesn't. He's not fake. Like there's talent there. You know. It's just kind of funny to be able to see the perception of fans across if they buy into like NFL Network and ESPN and people on Twitter or X or Instagram or podcasts, or if they make their own opinions. So. But I mean, I watch all the quarterbacks, and like if I'm trying to put together, I feel like I like qualities in each one, but the qualities I like the most are Michael Penix Jr. The downside is that he has injuries like ACLs, and he's had some major injuries and surgeries, since he was at high school. Indiana, not so much in the last 2 years with Washington, thank God. That's why his stock is so high. But hopefully that will be the only thing that holds him back. But he's got the arm, he's got the mental toughness. He's a team first instead of a me first. Would rather win the Natty than win the Heisman. Selfless, good relationship with the parents, good relationship with the peers and people in his corner, like good support system. Like literally the only thing that I could see failing would be his body. Other than that, he's got all the skills that I would pick him first for my team. If I had the first pick in the draft and I had to go quarterback and I didn't go O-line, even though I begged, right? And I had to go quarterback, I'm probably going to go him because I like Caleb's athleticism, but I got question marks. Drake May's got the body size for the right quarterback, but does he have the arm and the mindset to actually do it? And then obviously we got to wait on Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders, and then with Bo, undersized, but he's got good mechanics. So if he goes to a good team, I mean, will it translate? Tackle him. Like, is Bo Nix going to be Baker Mayfield, or is he going to be better? Or where is Bo Nix going to be? Like, no one thinks Bo Nix is going to be Drew Brees, like as a short quarterback. No one thinks that Bo Nix is going to be Baker Mayfield or better. I think most people think, backup quarterback, and then we'll see. But what happens if he ends up being a guy that could start on a couple teams, like 2 teams in the NFL? I think it could be possible. Now, if Bo Nix ends up being the best quarterback overall in this draft, everyone, except maybe Bo Nix, would be like, yeah, I'm surprised. But I'm hoping that we get, 5 quarterbacks out of this draft out of 9. 2 elite, 3 that are good but not great, and then a few that are having to work up an injury to get up to get a spot and a shot. But it's like you look at Kenny Pickett and Desmond Ritter and some of these guys, hell, even fucking Eli. Like a lot of the quarterbacks in the league are not very good. I would rather go with like one of these rookies that are coming in within the next 3 years than go with some of these guys that are playing right now. Like you just got to be able to find that proper talent. You're not going to find it every year. Like, you might have to go 5 years before you get the next elite quarterback. It might be longer. You get guys that come in, but they're not going to be the next big thing. They're not going to be fucking Tiger King Joe Burrow. 36-21, 3rd down and 5. Caleb, play action fake, bootleg, held by USC. That's coming back because you're stupid. $36-21. They can't all be CJ Stroud. But also, too, we have to understand that CJ is doing because of what? Not just because of CJ. It's because of the offensive line. It's because of Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, but the coaching, the defense. There's a number of factors. It's not just, CJ Stroud's great, because Richardson was playing just as good as him, but he got hurt. It gives you a different aspect running the football. Like if Richardson was able to stay healthy, the conversation isn't talking just CJ, it's both of them. So, but that is, CJ is special. Like CJ, number 1, AR 2, Bryce. I'm not sure if you're going to make it, bud. And some people, are like, it's too early, and it is. We need to give it more talent and whatnot. But basically that height, though, and mentally you have to be really, really strong and be able to handle the hard times. And if you're a shorter quarterback and you have a difficulty seeing over the line and making the reads, Like, I mean, how many short quarterbacks end up being good? You get the Doug Flutys, you get the Russell Wilsons, sometimes you get a Drew Brees, but what are you going to get there? That's the question. But I do like what CJ's produced. He's sweet, man. But it also helped that the Buccaneer defense was absolute dog shit and they were sleeping, and then he ended up having a career day. So first down, Trojans. Yeah, but CJ's a guy. Like, if you had to have like, oh, Trevor Lawrence, yep, that's the guy. Zach Wilson, no. And like even Justin Fields, people want to say, yep, that's it. But now, just in a matter of a year or two, everyone that believed in Justin Fields, like they were believing in CJ Stroud, like, oh yeah, this is the guy, right? Now everyone's like, oh, he gets hurt and he can't throw. But does he really have a true number one receiver? DJ Moore is normally like a top 10, top 12, but he's not bigger like AJ Brown. If you got someone like that for him, then let me see a full season with Justin Fields, Cole Kmet on one side, DJ Moore, and then AJ Brown on the left. And if you still are dog shit, then you're not good enough. Touchdown, Trojans. But if you end up exceeding with a DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, then maybe that's the guy, and that's why they shouldn't draft Caleb, and maybe they should hold on to Fields, draft offensive line, and then Maserati Marv or go defense. Like you have to make those decisions. And I mean, based on kind of what I've seen, like the Bears would be smarter to probably just build around Fields. But because especially if you get rid of Fields, he goes somewhere else, he ends up turning into a star. You draft Caleb, and then Caleb ends up being a bust. Then, I mean, Bears fans wouldn't even be fans anymore. So, yeah, Texans are sweet, man. Paisley Pup is in here. 36-27. I love you. I'm almost done. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Williams. Caleb, pump fake. I love his agility. He's got the Mahomes in him. Like it definitely looks caught, but he's short. But like when you watch him run, it reminds you of Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the accuracy. Those are going to be, depending on what you have around you. Like Mahomes had Andy Reid and Travis Kelce, so that definitely benefited him. But also, too, remember, Patrick Mahomes' dad fucking played professional baseball. A lot of people forget about that. Like, if you had a fucking dad that played pro sports or pro wrestler, chances are you got some extra genetic and you're going to be good, But if you don't have a dad that played, can you still make it and be elite? Yeah. But those genes get passed down and certain guys turn into like mega star. Ken Griffey Sr. Oh, hello. Meet my son, Ken Griffey Jr. Voila. Right? Bears fans would be sick. Can you imagine Kyle Brandt on Good Morning Football? They trade away Justin Fields. He goes to another team like the Bucs, turns into a superstar, right? And then all of a sudden they draft Caleb and Marv is great, but then he ends up being a bust, whether it's injury or doesn't. I mean, it would be, Kyle Brandt wouldn't even be able to do the show anymore. I feel a lot of sympathy for Bears fans. Like, they had the 85 Bears and they had Mike Ditka and like the old school days. But I mean, Rex Grossman, you know that you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, and it's like you have moments, but it's like it hasn't really been anything significant. Kind of like the Cowboys since the early 90s, 92, 93, 95 Cowboys, but they haven't won since 95. So it's like sometimes you feel sorry for certain organizations. Like you just want them to get over the hump and just get over it. Like we've already been going through Cowboys going to win Super Bowl, but until like obvious things change, Jerry Jones, either passes away or passes down the team to someone other than his family. Get a new head coach, get rid of Dak, move on from that, get someone better. Then, maybe you can build something. Bring in a Jimmy Johnson type of coach. Jim Harbaugh and the Cowboys. Get rid of Dak, upgrade, get someone better. That could be a team that could make it to an NFC Championship game at some point. But how many coaches do I believe that could do that? There's only a couple, Harbaugh, offense. Defense, Dan Quinn. Micah, better quarterback than Dak. Boom, shakalaka. Cowboys problem solved. Boom. But CJ is the truth. I feel that CJ has an opportunity. If he keeps healthy in his career, he could be a Hall of Famer. And I would normally not say that if I didn't believe it. But, I feel that even if he went to another team, that had more talent or worse talent, like his preparation and when you actually get the stats and you get the job done and you look like a 8-year pro in your rookie year, you see it. Like you see certain things in certain guys, like Andrew Luck. When I saw him from Stanford, you knew Peyton Manning, Tennessee, then boom, with the Colts. It's like struggled that rookie year, but Peyton, you could tell Peyton was he went from a 3 head to a 5 head to an 8 head, turned into an alien, turned into the best audible, play action quarterback of all time. But it's definitely harder now because the game has changed. A lot more running quarterbacks, RPO. It's not just pocket guys like the Joe Montanas and the Dan Marinos and the Elways. Like now, it's like so you got to run, but they don't want you to be too much of a runner like RG3 or Kaepernick. They just want you to be like Lamar. Like you're going to be in the pocket, and we know that you can run and tap and go crazy and get the big yardage. But like we want you to be more of a passer first, get everyone going, but then if we need you, then you just go crazy and you just do your own thing. But I mean, how many guys are like that? We have two. We have Lamar and Tyreek. That's it. So last time I checked, Tyreek doesn't play quarterback, but I guess he could. A little RPO action. Or someone like Taysom Hill. That's the ultimate weapon right now. You got Taysom Hill in football. You're going to the playoffs just because of that. They don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Is he going to run it? Is he going to throw it? Is he going to catch it? Who else can do that in the NFL? Nobody. Boom, fantasy. Pick him up. Put him in your lineup. Put him on your bench. Put him at your flex. He's hit 20 last 2 weeks. I'm rolling the dice, baby. Remaining schedule, Ducks, Arizona State, blowout. Oregon State, we could lose. They're the real deal. Martinez at running back, 4 touchdowns. First half. Damian, good. Ugalele, quarterback, he's good. It'll be fun. I can't wait. That would be. That's the game I'm most excited about. Besides Washington this year, I was already like, okay, I could see how the Beavers were going and the trajectory as long as Ugalele didn't get hurt, and then the running game was good. Defense, the fan base, the Beavers are like. It really sucks that the Pac-12 is like blowing up because they're now finally at a point where they're getting closer to Oregon's level, and they're not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of the labor and have the rivalry anymore. Like, I really, really wish that the Big Ten would just swallow their pride and be like, let's bring on Oregon State and Washington State. Yeah, we know they're lower schools, but they're like underdog lower schools that actually are kind of low-key good. It's like, yeah, they may not make as much money or whatever, and whatnot compared to some of the others that are more profitable, but like I would like to be able to rekindle the Washington State Apple Cup rivalry, Beavers, Ducks. Like next year will be the first year the Ducks and the Beavers don't play in like over 100 years. Like that is the lamest shit ever. Like they didn't even want us to call it the Civil War anymore. Like what the hell are we supposed to call it? That's what it is. You just can't change something that's had a name for 100 years. Like change it to a different name. Change the name of your baseball team. Cleveland Indians? No, can't do it. Guardians, much better. 36-27 Ducks, baby. We will. I really believe that. I think, like I said, but the Beaver game is going to be like really, really good. And if we make mistakes, we will lose that game. And that's what makes it exciting. But if it happens, I'll be rooting for their success. It's like, most people won't, but I like to be able to see, teams and people do well. You got to take advantage of the moment, and it's not always going to be your time or your year. Everyone's got to have a pecking order and a turn, and then if you keep going, eventually you'll have yours. So. But I think we can get past that. If we lose, Husky rematch, Pac-12 championship, Oregon wins, top 4 team, we get in, and then let's see who we match up against. I mean, could you imagine if it ended up being Oregon and Florida State? We would win, and then all of a sudden Oregon ends up in the championship against like Michigan or Ohio State or Georgia. I'm not trying to say that we need that path, but somehow Florida State is still fucking there. Florida State, Oregon, we played you before, boom, shakalaka, advance, and then most people would be like, oh, that's when you lose. But what happens if we win? 3rd and 7, man motion. Bo Nix is a stud. And I looked up his stat line compared because I'm a nerd, right? So I'm like, all right, let me look to see what the stats are for Mariota when he won the Heisman, and then Herbert in his last year, and then what Bo Nix is doing. And surprisingly, Bo Nix's stats, some of his stats are actually better. And so if you're looking at that, and it's like, and the defenses aren't all dog shit. Like some of them are bad. or that could be better, like Colorado and USC. But a lot of teams have at least decent defense. Not everyone's going to have like a Michigan, or like a Penn State. Like not every team is going to have a Ohio State defense and all these NFL guys, or Alabama or Georgia. But shotgun set, 4th down and 7. Oregon's like, let's go for everything. We're up by 100. Go for it. First down, Ducks. He said final. Final score 36-27. Final. Boom, we're good. Scoreboard is updated. Boom. Nice. But again, like it's just like I feel that if you watch, you know, like I said, I'm not going to get everything right, but most of the time, if you have that, I mean, the only thing that really sways games, I feel, are injuries. Like if an injury happens out of the blue, then any prediction that anyone has that normally would happen will get skewed. It'll go the other way. But I mean, if everyone stays healthy, you can kind of have a vibe. Like if Bucky never came back, that could have been a game changer for us. But clock is running down. He said, read my grades. Garden is like, update scoreboard. Do this. I do this. Arizona State won 17-7 against UCLA. Chip Kelly, what happened? All right, man. We'll win next week. The Beaver game will be one of the best games of the year. It might be the best game of the year. Like it has that potential, just like Washington was. That's how it's going to be. So, yeah, I don't know. Tell that it's ESPN, brother. Tell them to refresh. All right, I'll let them know. I'm going to shoot them a message. All right, man. Refresh your shit. He said, okay, give me a minute. All right, guess what? I talked to him. Boom. You're welcome. 36-27 final. Let's go. Troy Franklin, kind of good, huh? All right. Dan Lanning, as Oregon has won 30 of its last 31 home games. Are we good? We're kind of good, especially when we're at home. Bo Nix. Who would have thought Bo Nix could be like Marcus Mariota or Justin Herbert? This sounds kind of weird. Like, you're not as hyped as those guys. You're a transfer, but you've like really panned out. Dang. Scouting report, fucking good. If he stays healthy, maybe we win a natty. If not, maybe we don't. Yeah, if we would have held them under 20 points, then I would have say A grade. But anything over 20, that would mean 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, or where we're going. Then it's like, to get an A grade, you have a number 1 pick potentially in Caleb. You hold them to under 20, like 19 or under, then you're like, oh wow, like defense really stepping up. Hold them to 10 points or less, then you're like, oh my god, we have a top 5 defense in college football. But I mean, I can pray for that day. We got a lot to clean up. And as long as he stays healthy, he's like so important to the success. Like LaMichael James, if you stay healthy, who knows how far we'll go? Like we could literally go to the Natty because of you. That's kind of cool. And then we got another guy that's like, hey, I might be the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Who knows when I'll come off the board with Rome? But Troy Franklin and Rome, whatever teams they go to, hell, Chiefs, get both of them, put them in the lineup, and then Mahomes would actually have some fresh guys to throw to. That'd be kind of fresh. Bo Nix. Bo knows. 23 for 31, 400 and a billion yards. Boom. All right. It's time for me to go exercise with the pup. And I got some reading to do. Then we got NFL games tomorrow. All kinds of madness tomorrow. And then I got to decide what I want to do for a stream. Okay. So we started here. Congratulations, Huskies. I'll even give you your Husky and your W. Okay. Boom, shakalaka. Congratulations, Oregon. We got the dub. We're good. So we'll see where it goes. It's exciting. Washington is better than us. Oregon State is good enough to beat us. It's a three-way team scenario with two that are going to play. And don't sleep on the Beavers. I mean, especially if the Beavers end up beating Washington. Can you imagine? Like, all the Washington people would be like, holy shit, we thought we'd lose to Oregon, but not maybe Oregon State, or maybe we would just beat everybody. I don't think any fan was like, oh, we're going to go undefeated. But, I mean, they're so far. They're like, sports gods are like, oh, this Orion, he really likes Michael Penix Jr. Let's just make him play like the most amazing. Boom. Tua, but better. Michael Vick, better. Steve Young, underneath that, like, how good could someone like this be? Michael Penix Jr., the next Steve Young, lefty. The league would need that. That would be cool. It'd be cool to see like Tua and Michael Penix Jr. as top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL as lefties. Would be cool. Let me see that. I appreciate you guys. Joe Dirt, life's a garden. Dig it. You feel me? Brother. Go Ducks. That was awesome. And like I said, we'll figure out what we're going to do. I got a lot of reaction videos to do tomorrow. And then we'll decide if we do Sunday Night Football. I'll do a post in the community section there, so people can get to sleep now, which is like fucking 1:14 or 2:14 in the morning. But go Ducks! Finally got the dub, and you guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of y'all. And again, I'll start at probably 1:30. The reaction videos will start then, and then we'll decide if we do Sunday night. If not, I'll have like 5, 6, 7 reaction videos to the highlights of the games from this weekend once they post. And then maybe Jets, Raiders, and then who is it? Bills and Broncos Monday night. And so we'll grind it out and go Ducks. Awesome way to be able to end the Saturday, but not a lot of sleep. And then we're right back at it tomorrow. So thank you to everyone that donated, commented, shared. Appreciate you. And I'll be back very, very soon. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. And I'm out. Gang.